Here we go. It is draft night. We are ready. All the picks all night leading up to 25 unless the Bears trade up or trade back maybe, which is kind of what I want. We're talking about it all right now on CHGO Bears. What a beautiful night to be talking Chicago Bears football. Chicago is popping off today. What a beautiful day in our city. We get to be in the city here at Joe's on Weed Street, an awesome event. This is the third time we've been here for the NFL Draft. We love coming here, and we are here on behalf of the Illinois Department of Transportation. If you feel different, you drive different, drive sober or get pulled over, it's not a game. And all of our CHGO Bears draft coverage is presented by the Fanatics app. Rep your team's newest picks and cash in on your fin. Welcome in Adam Hogue, Mark Carmen, Greg Braggs Jr., and we get Woot back with us tonight. Corey Woon is here. Feels like a game day when you're here.
It's good to be back, man. Draft weekend, there's nothing like this. It's great that we get to hang out together, hang out with the fans here, so it's going to be a great night.
Appreciate the crowd being here. You guys look awesome.
Let's go, Joe's on Weed Street. Let's go.
Just a quick reminder to you guys in the crowd, these lights are super bright, so if it looks like I can't see you, it's because I can't. So if you're yelling stuff and I'm not reacting, that's probably why. But we are happy you're here, and we're going to have another really fun draft night here at Joe's on Weed Street. And if you're watching at home right now, hit the like button. Please subscribe. In fact, if you're here, please open your phone and hit the like button for us as well on your YouTube app. And if you're not subscribed for some reason, then you should be. But, guys, let's jump right in. We're going to set this up like this. 25, that's where the Bears are picking right now. Put you on the spot. How you feeling tonight? Do you want to see the Bears trade up? And if so, who's your guy? Do you want to see them stay pat? And if so, who's your guy? Or you could also say, I want to see him trade back, in which case you don't necessarily have to pick anyone. But those are your three options. Woo, where are you going?
I'm going to stay put.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of defensive linemen, in particular defensive ends that I'm eyeing. T.J. Parker from Clemson. Some of the different guys, Zion Young from Mizzou, there's a lot of different good guys towards that pass rushers that I think will be available. So I'm looking at those two guys and Mesidor if he does make it that far, but there's a lot of talented defensive ends. We know last year they really needed pass rush help. So I'd love for them to add to the arsenal opposite Montez Sweat and give them some help.
Gregory, go ahead, buddy. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about it for 2 months now, but I want the Bears to draft an offensive lineman. I think the problem now feels like, as the momentum and the rumors swirl, that there's going to be a run on offensive linemen before the Bears pick. And if you really want one, you might have to trade up to get one. And I'm not really in the business to trade up and give draft equity away. If anything, if the board falls the way it does, and that's why I think tonight's going to be really interesting. From the last few years that we've done these live shows here at Joe's on Weed Street for the draft, we're normally picking first or 10th or 9th. To wait till the 25th pick is going to be really fascinating to kind of watch how this board falls. But I don't know if the offensive lineman that the Bears deem worthy will be there at 25. So at that point, maybe trade back is the best option, but I think a lot of things have to unfold before we get there.
There's literally nothing for me, Hogue, Wood, Braggs, that the Bears could do tonight that would be the wrong move unless they go out and draft one guy that I watched today who I absolutely don't want, and his name is Kristen Miller. But outside of that, if they trade it up, I'm more conservative than giving up draft picks to go up. However, if you are going to go up to try to get a big-time player, then the guard from Penn State, Olaivavega Ioane, to me looks like a legit Hall of Fame player. When I love doing cross sports here, Hogue. When Red Auerbach watched Larry Bird play, he watched him for 30 seconds and walked out of the gym, and everyone's like, oh, he doesn't like him. He already knew. When you watch that guy play football, it's that quick to realize, oh, my God, he can move. He's super strong. No one's running him over. He's going to take you into the end zone. If a guy like that fell and it got in range where the Bears could move up by packaging one of their second-round picks to move up and get him and figure out how they're going to do the O-line, I'd be on board for that. But other than that, stick and pick and take the best player available. I don't see how we won't be happy with what happens tonight.
How did you pronounce his name?
Olaivavega Ioane.
Well, it's Vega.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Olaivavega Ioane.
Ioane.
You think he would have messed up the Ioane part and not the Vega part?
Well, his full name is Olaivavega. So I think that's why he put the N in there. But his nickname is that he goes by.
But I get where you're coming from with that, Carm. I mean, we had Baldy on a few weeks ago, and he said that's the person that every morning he wakes up turning his tape on because of how he puts people into the dirt. And I totally understand it. He's more of a guard. But again, when you're talking about this offensive line for the Chicago Bears, and you're projecting not just this year, but moving forward, you don't know what Ozzie Trapillo is going to be a year from now when he comes back from injury. You don't know how many more months, years you have left with Joe Thuney. Drew Dolman retired at the drop of a hat. Joe Thuney could do the same thing next February. Let's hope not, but you just never know. And then you talk about Joe. If you're going to solidify your offensive line, you've got Jackson. You got to extend right? You got Bradbury on a one-year deal. They've got a very good offensive line, but they don't necessarily have long-term stability there yet. Mm-hmm. So to continue to replenish and bolster and put depth in that O-line, I will have zero problem with that, but I understand there's other needs they have as well.
Well, and Hogue, you're a big guy on Monroe Freeling from Georgia. You go and watch his
That's
tape.
my one trade-up guy.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's super athletic, strong. That would be I would be all in on that. Kadyn Proctor, too. If you told me that he slipped and you could go, a lot of people have him mocked to the Lions. You jumped in front of Detroit, traded up to get him. I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't hate it either. That guy's going to be a beast, too.
I wouldn't mind offense or defensive line because I look at the position needs for both ends. We have some pass rush need. We need a three technique. So these first three picks, if they stay put, I think have to be offensive defensive line.
Well, I want to credit you, Woot, for following the assignment. You gave me one answer. You said I'm standing put, and you gave me a guy.
Bad start. I apologize to IDOTS.
Yeah, I said trade back.
After like 9 other options. So,
because I don't think the O-line's going to be there anymore. I'm getting upset.
But let me answer my own question.
Yeah,
I'm trade back. That's ultimately what I want to see. Yes, Monroe Freeling is my guy. I don't think he's going to be there. I think it's going to cost a lot to go get him. So I just look at the talent overall. There's nobody that's really popping off to me like, I got to have that guy. I got to have that guy. So if the Bears end up trading back tonight, I'm going to be pretty happy with it. Now, this is all subject to change, obviously. Once we see the board on, fall the way it does, there's going to be some idiotic team that does something stupid like the Falcons did the last 2 years, and now all those people are fired. So those things are going to happen. And we'll have to see how there's going to be something stunning that none of us saw coming. That's kind of my favorite moment of the first round every year. And we'll find out when that happens. But right now, the Raiders are on the clock, and we are going to be reacting to every pick, spinning it towards what it means for the Bears, but also giving you our thoughts on all these picks. And this one's a sort of a formality. But Woot, did you want to say anything else about?
No, so I was going to say I would be okay with trading back because I feel like there's so much talent and value when I'm looking at the defensive line position. There's a lot of picks if you're in that second round that you could potentially get that could be day one starters, that could be major contributors to this Bears team. So I would be with it depending on what they get in return.
So one guy I like on a trade back, Hogue, for the offensive line is Max Iheanachor.
Yeah.
Arizona State, right tackle.
Nice job on that pronunciation.
Thank you very much. But he is an insane athlete, and you could put him literally anywhere on the O-line. I think he could figure it out. That guy who hasn't played a lot of football.
Yeah, how old were you when you first started playing football?
Shoot, second grade.
Second grade. Okay, this guy never played a snap of football, snap, until he was in junior college.
He basically ended up his high school career as a hooper, and there wasn't a whole lot out there for him. Like, all right, I'll go to JUCO and give myself a chance to play football. Yeah. And now all of a sudden I'm playing at Arizona State, and now I'm going to probably be a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft. That's an athlete.
That was a guy, Jeremy Parnell, that was a tackle in the league. He played basketball until I think one year he transferred and ended up playing tackle. How athletic he was.
Yeah.
So usually those basketball players, they translate because they got great feet. So it makes sense. He probably played soccer, too. I think he's Nigerian.
Well, and that's where you're looking at Iheanachor and saying they're going to try to draft with traits, right? Mm-hmm. And Bears fans get a little concerned about that because once upon a time they drafted Karan Amagaji for the same reason, and the development really hasn't been there. Now, when you talk about Iheanachor, there's two trains of thought, in my opinion, when you talk about a guy that is just now starting to figure out his football acumen and how he wants to handle himself on the field. And most evaluators will tell you, second half of last season, he really started to figure it out. That being said, now you're moving to the NFL level. You're still learning the position. So you could say, like I said, two trains of thoughts. Sky's the limit. He has this much more room for development, but you don't really know where that's going to tap out either because you can project that he's going, and that's where you really got to put the faith in Dan Rochar, Ben Johnson, and his coaching staff, because that's a longer projection for Iheanachor.
Yeah, I think that's going to be somebody. I don't think we're done talking about him or a bunch of other tackles here. We're going to have plenty of time to break through. We're here for 4 hours, essentially, till the Bears make their pick and beyond. Just to give you an idea of what's going on here, we're going to hear from Adam Jahns at Hallis Hall. He's at Hallis covering things. Pat Norton is there as well. So we're going to have you covered online at allchgo.com. Lock into those guys on Twitter as well as our CHGO Bears account. A lot of cool things behind the scenes there. We also have Fran Duffy, who we're going to, throughout the draft this weekend, every time the Bears make a pick, we're going to have Fran, our draft expert. He's going to jump on and tell us what he thinks about that player, where he had him rated, and all those things. If you are not already a diehard, if you want the draft guide, this is basically your last chance because this is the perfect way to follow along here this weekend with all the picks. It's going to be updated as the picks are made, and it's right here in front of me. We're going to be following along. Fran has you covered on every single prospect in this draft. It's so impressive, so make sure you sign up to become a diehard right now. We dropped the price on that, right?
$32.
It's down to $32 for the weekend for the draft, so go get that right now. Become a diehard. So he'll be joining us later on in the show. We also have Lance Briggs in the house and Jerry Zuma in the house. So those guys will be here. We'll be rotating them in and out of the show as the night goes along.
And all these diehards in the house. Look at this place is packed up right away. Let's go. Let's go.
And then before we get to this first pick, we react to what we've known for months now, Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders.
What?
A couple important things I got to tell you about. First of all, Bona Beef fed us tonight. Shout out to Bona Beef. It was fantastic. We're going to tell you about a cool initiative that they have coming up here in the month of May. That's coming up here in a little bit in the show. And then we've been partnered now with Big Brothers Big Sisters for a while now. And they are with us this weekend as well. Jeremy Foster, you've heard him on the show. He's here in attendance. I don't know if he's here yet, but he will be joining us on the show to talk about.
Carm is a big brother.
He is.
I absolutely am. Thank you very much, Greg. Me and my guy Emiliano. It's going to be awesome to have Jeremy on here.
So we'll continue to tell you all about those initiatives. But the thing I do need to tell you about off the top, if you're thinking about sending us super chats, all those things, great, we'll take them. But think about sending that money to Big Brothers Big Sisters. There's a little handshake button. It looks like this if you're watching on YouTube right now.
It's like a heart handshake.
Yes, and you click that, and you can donate directly right there on YouTube. They make it super easy, and again, we'll give you more reasons on why you should be doing that, but I want to make sure that you know that is there.
The heart emoji is, so if you have a heart, donate. If you're Dr. Vinny Boombots, then you got to find one and then donate.
What is it, the Wizard of Oz? Okay.
Dude will attack Vinny Boombots at any opportunity. Draft night, not draft night, game day, whatever. By the way, shout out to Game Day Men's Health, who are in the back corner with the Jim McMahon jersey they're giving away. Check those guys out if you are here. Everybody go sign up for Game Day Men's Health. Get your hip exfoliated. Get yourself some testosterone. It's a great scene here at Joe's on Wheat Street. Can I ask Wood a question real quick?
No.
Actually, Cole, go ahead.
No, because we have a pick that we need to react to.
Well, that's what I want to ask him. Can I ask this question? If somebody had told you, Corey Wooten, that you would be sitting at Joe's on Weed Street in the 2026 NFL Draft and the number one pick would be coming from the national champion Indiana Hoosiers as a quarterback, would a Northwestern Wildcat have ever believed that the Hoosiers would be the top of the NFL mountain and at the top of college football mountain? It's unbelievable what's happening.
I would have never believed that, but that's what NIL does. You can buy whatever team you want nowadays. That's why Northwestern, Patrick Ryan, if you're listening, let's get that NIL fund. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza officially to the Raiders.
All right, so let me give you my reaction on this one because Indiana took the college football world by storm this year. They were a lot of fun to watch. I remember sitting there watching the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State, which was really their we're for real game before the playoffs even started. And I'm like watching Mendoza. This dude is better Kirk Cousins. He is better Kirk Cousins. I love this fit for him, and I cannot believe I'm saying that about the Raiders. But credit to the Raiders. They're doing this the right way. They bolstered their defense. They brought in an offensive coach in Clint Kubiak. Now, we don't know. Kubiak's kind of where Ben Johnson was this time last year. We don't know if he can command the room. He's a first-time head coach. There's a lot of different questions there. But he can coach offense, and he can coach quarterbacks. Andrew Janocko over there is the OC, our old friend here that was the QB coach in Chicago. I think – for them to then go out and we've seen a bunch of these situations where teams sign the veteran quarterback and then they draft the quarterback and then they screw it up. They create an awkward situation. And it doesn't work. This was the opposite. Everyone's known, including Kirk Cousins, that Mendoza was going to be the pick. They go out and they get Cousins, who could not be a better mentor, A, because of everything he knows about the game of football and how smart he is, but B, because I literally think this is like a clone of him who could be better. 100%. If this talent in Fernando Mendoza learns everything that Kirk Cousins knows about the game of football, that's going to be a challenge because Cousins knows that much. But if he's able to process and see everything that defenses are throwing out there, he's going to be really, really good. So to me, is he the best player overall in this draft? I don't know. Fran has him number one. I don't think he's as good as Caleb Williams. He doesn't have as strong of an arm. He can't create plays to that level, but he can do enough of both of those things. His arm is strong enough. He can create. He's tough as hell. I mean, you saw in the national championship game, really any game, he'll take hits. He doesn't care. I am a fan. This draft is all about fit. This is a great fit. The Raiders are doing it right. I love this situation for him, and I can't wait to see it play out. I think the Raiders are one of the more interesting teams actually to watch in the league this year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially what you said about Kirk Cousins being a mentor. He is such an intelligent guy, and in this league, these young quarterbacks, they need that mentor that can break down coverage for them. When he comes off on the sideline, look at that tablet, get things dialed in, and you look at what this league is becoming, right? You have to develop the quarterback position, and this is a match made in heaven. The weapons they have there from the running game, they are really building this team around Fernando Mendoza.
Well, and you bring up Kirk Cousins as somebody that can mentor him. But there's another quarterback within that organization that they can look up to, and that's Tom Brady. And what I would say when you bring up Mendoza's toughness, which is elite, and we all saw that on full display on the national championship, that being said, he's going to have to learn to not take those hits in the NFL, especially early on. And if there's anybody that could give him that word of advice, it's Tom Brady, because more years than not, he never got touched. And Mendoza, hey, when you get to the end, you get to the playoffs and money on the table time, fine, take those hits. But early on, I think Jackson Dart had to learn this lesson the hard way. Obviously, Robert Griffin, mobile quarterback, so a little different. But still, it's still the same message. Don't take those kind of hits early on because that could really hurt your career going, that early development.
Guys, we got our first little minor surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Here in the first round because, there's a lot of talk. Would the Jets go with Arvell Reese or go with David Bailey? They canceled the visit of David Bailey, and it just confused a lot of people. And like, why would you do that if you're going to draft him? Well, they drafted him because they're the Jets and they do weird things. Look, it's a good player, but I guess they're just trying to. You're the second pick, and everyone knows who's going number one. I don't know why you have to like do a smokescreen thing,
Correct.
but apparently they felt the need to do so. So David Bailey from Texas Tech to the Jets.
Yeah, probably arguably one of the best pass rushers in this draft. The arsenal of moves, the quickness, counter moves, he brings it all. So it looks like the Jets are really trying to build things defensively while they figure out the offense. Offense has been not a strong suit for them, so I think they're really trying to build this team defensively. Will McDonald is over there as well, so they're really trying to build this team.
Well, McDonald had the most sacks on the team last year and is less than 5, so they need somebody who can get to the quarterback. I actually like this pick a ton. Arvell Reese, I don't get it. He's a linebacker who you're projecting who maybe will be able to play edge. You do not know that he's going to be able to do it. There's only one Micah Parsons out there. So to me,
there might be two now.
Well, there might be, but you're look, man, this dude gets to the quarterback. He is a force. Yeah. You need somebody. I bet on the sure thing here. I'm not saying that Arvell Reese isn't going to be a great player, but
it's more of a project.
Well, but it's much more of a project, so I get the pick.
There are some concerns here about David Bailey. He's 6'3.5", 253. He was a part-time starter at Stanford for a while. He actually graduated from Stanford. Smart guy. Shout out to him. Not as smart as Northwestern grads, though, right?
There are a lot of really smart dudes in this draft, by the way. Keep going.
And he is one of these twitchy guys that can bend. I mean, there's not a whole lot of these dudes that can actually get around the edge. So he is absolutely a good pass rusher. There's no question, and he's got the production to go with it. He led the country with 14.5 sacks last season. But, you do your homework on him. There's definitely concerns about him in the run game. There's concerns about loafing and some effort stuff. And I know Bob McGinn, who I read every year, he's always got the skinny from some of these anonymous scouts. One of the scouts said he kind of did his own thing at Stanford. So, look, can that be coached up? Sure, but, I don't think the second pick here doesn't come without any risk, although there is one thing you could do, and that's get after the quarterback, and that matters a lot.
Well, and coming up here, our guys over at PHNX, this Cardinals pick is certainly going to be an interesting domino. I know there's been a lot of conflicting reports of how that would go down. But my other thought, and this is going to be maybe my final slam dunk on the whole should you draft Caleb Williams saga, but over the last 2 years, I was told 2 years ago that you can get a quarterback in any draft. And sometimes trading for the haul is what you should do to build yourself, a sustainable winner. Show me the quarterbacks, the last 2 years. All right, you get Mendoza. Congrats. The Jets are picking second. They need a quarterback. They have Geno Smith, and they weren't able to get one this year because this isn't a quarterback-heavy draft. Last year, what was it? Cam Ward, right? That's it. Who else? I mean, there wasn't very many. Jackson Dart. Everybody thought Shador fell. So all this idea, the other point I want to make to this is how lucky the Bears were that the year they had the number one pick was the year they had Caleb Williams, because things have fallen their way since then. Rome Odunze at 9. Let's see if he can have a bounce back here. Colston Loveland falling to them at 10. Luther Burden falling to them in the second round. A lot of things have gone right for the Bears, and you can't take it for granted, because as the Jets will tell you right now, picking 2, they didn't get a quarterback, and they need one.
Well, and before that,
we got the Cardinals pick, by the way, and it's a big one.
Okay, is Jeremiyah Love? I'm guessing.
What is this, Big Daddy? You're not proposing, are you?
Who is it?
It's Jeremiyah Love.
Yeah! Oh!
We wasted the good surprise on you.
Oh, man.
How about that? There's a lot of talk the Cardinals could trade this pick, maybe move back. Who would they go after? And to your point, another quarterback-needy team, Greg. There's not really one there for them. A lot of people, I think, are going to be looking for Arch Manning next year. We'll see. But Jeremiyah Love. He's really, really good. But we have seen running backs go number 3 before and be good. I mean, Saquon was good, and he's on a different team now. So
should have won the Heisman, should have won the national championship, but college football hates Notre Dame. That's okay. Jeremiyah Love will flourish in the NFL. Dude is a star, an absolute star. The Cardinals got themselves a good one. You don't want to typically draft running backs high, But if you do, you want one of those guys in the top 10, right?
Bijan
Robinson, right? A Saquon Barkley. You want one of those guys that's going to be a game changer.
Exactly.
Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions, right? Even Ashton Genty, phenomenal. And Jeremiyah Love can do so many great things. He's patient when he presses the hole. He has insane speed, just completely leaves guys in the dust. Great hands, can catch the ball. He's going to be a playmaker for Arizona.
He averaged 6.9 yards per carry in 24 and in 25. 6.9.
Nice.
Friday night. Actually, it's a Thursday night, but let's live the dream at any night. All right. I think, to me, he was the best player available right there.
So what do you guys think?
I don't care if he plays running back.
Now running back, they're putting some respect on the name. Remember, for years, it was like there was no first-rounders available. Yeah. We didn't put a premium on there. We can get another guy. So now it's good that they're recognizing these once-in-a-generation type guys. They command those top 10 picks.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could say that Ashton Genty didn't really live up to the pick last year. I still think he's really good, but
that's why O-line.
That's why
we got to see this year.
That's why I think this Cardinals. I think that's why this Cardinals pick is so interesting, and I'm sure our guys at PHNX are freaking out right now. But they got Mike LaFleur as their new coach. They got a good running back. We'll see where that all heads. All right, we did get a anonymous $100 donation for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Keep those donations going in. Again, if you're on YouTube, it's the button that looks like a handshake, two hands shaking. You can click right there, donate directly. It's super, super easy. So thank you very much for everybody doing that tonight. We got to take our first time out. Do not go anywhere. We're going to continue rolling through these top 10 picks. And, of course, as these guys come off the board, we get closer and closer to the Bears pick. We will we'll spin everything towards the Bears, as we always do here on CHGO Bears. We got a lot more coming up. But first,
excited to give a shout out to our good friends over at Xfinity. As a lifelong Xfinity customer, me and Jenny, we love Xfinity, and we know why. It's because we get reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi right at our fingertips, and we get it for the same price for 5 years. That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It's a Wi-Fi with a super intelligence, like a Spider-Man sixth sense. That's exactly what you're looking for. You know, all these people fighting over different things to stream on your Wi-Fi, and then things start to lag. Not with Xfinity. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included always. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Shout out to our good friends over at Xfinity.
Smartest thing in Braggs' house is the Wi-Fi.
Shout
Jenny.
That wasn't very nice.
Well, you told me about the argue thing.
That's a good point. Good callback. Hey, we are very happy to be here tonight on behalf of IDOT and the Illinois Department of Transportation.
Yeah, IDOT
wants you Bears fans to understand this quick sideline reminder. Okay, when you see orange, slow down and follow the signs. Work zones are not an obstacle course. They're active work areas where road crews are working right next to traffic. And guys, we are into construction season. We know that. There's winter in construction season. We are in orange season now. And those signs are like your playbook on the road. So follow what they're telling you and give everyone plenty of space. Speeding or ignoring the signs can mean a costly fine or worse. So respect the zone like we respect the one shot. Mind the signs, avoid the fines. It's not a game.
IDOT.
All right, we are a few picks in here on our draft night live, and what do you guys think so far? By the way, I got an echo going here, Stephen, just so you understand. Thank you. All right, Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, a little bit of a curveball there at number 2. Jeremiyah Love, even bigger curveball, a little bit, number 3, and then number 4 could be even more as the Titans pick is in.
Well, let me just rewind real quick to what Greg was talking about. And you guys said a lot of nice things about Fernando Mendoza, and I'm not trying to kill on the number one pick in the draft. However, I do want to underline, there is a lot of luck that goes on here. And the year that the Raiders finally have the number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza is the guy, not Caleb Williams.
Not Drake May.
Not
Jaden Daniels.
It might work out for him, but that's not what you wanted to happen if you were the Raiders. You need a quarterback. That was the best guy there. I know you like him a lot. We'll see.
I still think he's like a top I mean, I like him more than I like JJ McCarthy coming out. I liked him more than
But that was the fifth quarterback.
Than Penix coming out. Well, who are the other ones? I would probably actually have him ahead of Jaden Daniels, who I had as a late first because of the injuries and the durability, which has proven to be a real thing, and probably, in my opinion, still will be. So
we'll see.
I still think he would have been in the mix. Now, would I have had him ahead of Caleb? Absolutely not.
No.
Would I have had him ahead of Drake? No, I would not have. Yeah. But maybe right after that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you get the number 1 pick, you want a lockdown guy that you absolutely know is going to be a killer, and I don't think they got that. That's all I'm saying.
So even if you look at Caleb Williams, right, look at his first year, we struggled. Having Ben Johnson, having the right system is what allowed him to really flourish last year. So it seems like Mendoza's going in the right system. They're putting the right pieces. They're having the right coaching staff. That's half the battle, especially Kirk Cousins there. I love that for him.
All right, well, another offensive weapon off the board. The Titans, who a lot of people thought would end up with Jeremiyah Love, who ended up going ahead of them. They go a wide receiver, Carnell Tate, who's Fran Duffy's number 9 overall prospect, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, 6'2", 192. Fran's number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Obviously a very good player.
He's all right.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity when Northwestern played Ohio State at Wrigley Field. You were there on the field. We were hanging out, and all eyes are always going to be on Jeremiah Smith, right? If the Bears want to just pick his rights here at 25 and wait a year for him to come up, I'm totally fine with that. But you watch Carnell Tate in that game in pregame warmups, you're like, dang, these guys got some playmakers.
Yeah.
And even though Northwestern gave them a run for their money that day, those guys showed up as well.
Yeah, that's the problem with Northwestern. They'll put somebody in the fourth quarter, but a team like Ohio State has too much speed at the wide receiver position. Those guys are track athletes. So that's the good part about Ohio State and the Big Ten. They play like SEC football. They have those type of athletes that's going to be there. That's why I'm hoping one day Northwestern can buy some of these players, right? Come on, Patrick Ryan.
Well, look, it takes a lot for me to give an Ohio State player any love. Just because can't stand the Buckeyes. But, hey, Carnell Tate's a Chicago kid, all right, Marist High School, representing the Catholic League. So, you know, he's played at a high level. He goes from the Catholic League here in Illinois to the Big Ten playing for Ohio State. Obviously a very talented kid, and now a top 4 pick going to Tennessee.
It's an incredible story. I mean, born and raised in Chicago, West Side, Garfield Park neighborhood. His mom was actually killed at the age of 40 in a drive-by shooting that was back in July of 2023 before he went to college. He was very close with his grandmother, too. This is some of the B stuff in it. She passed away from lung cancer. And here's a guy who makes his way to college football, is graduating with a 3.7 GPA.
Wow.
And I watched him interviewed on Rich Eisen's show. First of all, he would not say the name Michigan. He was unwilling because, you know, Rich is trying to bait. I was like, you know where I went to school? Yeah, that school. He's like, first of all, he didn't know. He's like, oh, you went to that school up north. Like, he wouldn't say it. And then, you know, he was a fun guy to watch. I'm an easy guy to root for. Now, the other side of it, I have no idea how good he is because he's just running wide open all the time on that team. It's like it's a hard guy to scout. But he's super fluid and. You know, he averaged 32.5 yards a catch last year, which is insane.
You know what he kind of feels like a little bit?
Touchdown catch.
And this is obviously a really high bar to reach. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, when he came out of Ohio State, right, they had Garrett Wilson, they had Chris Olave, and then they had this other guy, and everybody was like, no. Watch out for him because he's the best of all of us. And it didn't always show on the stat sheet, but they would tell you that. Yeah. And you see that with this iteration of Ohio State wide receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Marvin Harrison Jr. said about Carnell, Carnell is going to be special. I think Carnell is probably at a better point right now than I was going into my sophomore year last year. He's amazing. He handles his business. He's always in the right spot, catches the ball, runs great routes. I'm excited to see what his career looks like. And that was Tate going into his first training camp in August of 2023, so he called his shot there.
You know, I think that's the counter argument to what you were saying, though, Carm, earlier. Like, I get your point that it's like the Raiders are stuck taking Mendoza when there could be better quarterbacks in other years. On the other hand, because this draft class isn't super strong outside of that, you know, it's not like they're passing up on a Jeremiah Smith. Like, could happen next year. Yep. right? Like whoever ends up being that number one quarterback, and I think he'll end up being Arch Manning. That's just my personal opinion. I love him. I think I think he started turning the corner this year. But if you're wrong and you're passing up on like a generational talent like Jeremiah Smith, like now you can argue Jeremiyah Love this year at Notre Dame is a generational talented running back, but it's still a running back, right? It's still so the positional value. So I just think that I get your point on, okay, it's Mendoza. He's not necessarily Caleb Williams, but I also don't think that it's one of those years where they're going to totally be like, yeah, we blew this because we didn't take the edge rusher that was clearly like the Myles Garrett type of player.
Somebody will emerge, but it won't be somebody you can say after the fact, well, you should have seen this coming.
Remember, Myles Garrett went before any of those quarterbacks that, including the one the Bears screwed up on, and Patrick Mahomes in that draft. Like, there were other guys there. And so I don't know that this draft, David Bailey is not the clear-cut number one edge. Like, there's been arguments about that.
Yeah. I listen, as far as Ohio State players go, Caleb Downs is the best player in the Ohio State insane draft class. So, I mean, look, adding a wide receiver playmaker is always exciting, but I don't know if the Titans will look back on this and worry about what they did.
All right, now's a good time for us to tell you about something cool that we got going on here. And partnering up with Bona Beef.
Yeah.
Just outstanding. Yeah. I mean, look, we got a lot of good options here in Chicago, but Bona's right there at the top. And they fed us tonight ahead of the show. And you could check out Bona Catering right here. These are the boxes that came in tonight.
It's nice.
But
nice,
they want you to know.
Box.
Thank you.
And Woo, we're gonna make you compete in this, okay? We didn't run this by you before, but the Bona World Beef Championship is coming up. Okay, guys, you need to enter.
It's serious.
Very simple.
Okay.
You join Bona Rewards. Okay. You can find that in Google Play or the App Store, right there on your phone. Eat or share as much beef as you possibly can during the month of May.
Okay.
Coming up. Okay.
Are you telling me to?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have an option. It is because it's National Beef Month. It is National Beef Month, and Bona stepping up the World Beef Championship. All who reach the championship level of 50 beefs can eat 50 beefs in 1 month. If you do that, you will receive 61,400 bonus reward points. Good for beef for any item on the Bona menu. One lucky champion will win the World Beef Championship belt by being the first to consume the most beefs over the 50 beef threshold. Easy for me to say. Be the hero. Use the Bona app to order beefs for your friends and family and office mates. Get ready to play. Bonus rewards start to accumulate once you've reached 5 beef orders in May. Go to Bona.com. That's BUONA.com for more details. Thank you, Bona, for feeding us tonight and being here.
Yeah, and let's talk about this. So 50 beefs in a month. That's easy work right there.
I know.
2 beefs a day, Gregory.
That's easy.
After a bad
That's
golf
easy
round for you,
business.
you just go get your beef.
Yeah, that's easy business.
I mean, you could even have you could go 25 days of 2, or you could do like a 30, a couple of 1 days and throw in a 2 beef day.
Good math.
Thank you. I'm just trying to I'm laying out the process here. Who doesn't want to have a beef for breakfast or a beef for lunch and a beef for dinner?
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's like an appetizer. It's so soft and so tasty.
Sometimes when I have a beef, like I'll keep it on this, my nightstand, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll take a bite of my beef.
Bite of beef.
Bite of the beef.
Little quick bite of the beef
in the middle of the night. Why would you want to have it right there?
That's what I'm saying.
It's so delicious.
Woot, nothing has changed, my friend. Nothing has changed since we left you at the Rams game.
I am so excited for Beef Month. and more.
All right.
Shout out to Bona Beef. Straight, honestly, delicious. DEL-icious.
All right, we have a Giants pick that is in. This was a spot where a lot of people thought this first round would kind of start getting shaken up quite a bit. Now, I'd argue it sort of is shaken up. I don't know how many people had Carnell Tate going number 4. So, honestly, this pick probably just got a lot easier for John Harbaugh and company over there because Arvell Reese is still on the board, and that is who the Giants take here. Very talented player. Yes, the comparisons to Micah Parsons and where you put him and how you play him because he was in like a joker role for Ohio State. But, boy, He's talented, so we'll see. Is he an edge rusher there? Is he, more of a linebacker?
But I would imagine they'll probably put him linebacker because of all the weapons they have with Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, right? Kavion Thibodeau still there. So they have the rush. So I would imagine they'll play him.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
And I think if one of those guys leaves, like Thibodeau's in his 5th year, if he ends up leaving, then they could maybe have him pass rush a little bit. But if there is versatility.
Remember, they signed Tremaine Edmonds too, so he could be playing next to Edmonds.
Or he could be putting people out there for trade potentially too.
That's true.
Right?
Well, if I'm the Titans, or if I'm a Titans fan right now, thankfully I'm not. Their biggest need was edge, and you went and took a wide receiver who in many years would not be number one.
A lot of talk about this one. Kansas City Chiefs are moving up here at number 6.
Wow.
The Cleveland Browns, for the 2nd year in a row, will trade back.
Let's go, Brett Veach.
Here with their high pick, and we got the Chiefs coming up.
What are they giving up for 3 picks here, Hope? Do you have it?
I do not have it.
Okay.
So but I'm trying to think of let's see who's still available here that they'd be coming up for.
The chat says they gave up 974 and 148. But that's the chat. I always trust the chat though, Corey.
I think it's a good
You got it.
So they were
not bad.
A lot of people had Rueben Bain mocked to the Chiefs at 9. I wouldn't think they're trading up to get Rueben Bain. So who do they want?
They go wide receiver.
Wide receiver, probably.
They're trading up to get Jordyn Tyson?
Yeah, we got that.
No, that can't be it. I refuse to believe that's it.
Yeah, so it is 974 and 148. So I don't know. Look, the Chiefs like to do this though. They're certainly one of the teams like the Eagles and the Bills. They always get involved in these trades, especially in the first round. So it's really no surprise to see Kansas City moving up here.
Are we looking at a Travis Kelce replacement about to be drafted here?
Kenyon
Sadiq?
I don't want
You would not have to trade up to get Sadiq. No, that's not it.
Well, you don't know that.
I
Teams
know
do
that.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if that's
If they
it.
got
I could be
intel
wrong.
that another team was maybe trading up for him,
A lot of people were surprised by Loveland, how we picked him. So.
Well, it didn't work out when the Falcons drafted a tight end that high, but it did for the Bears.
All right, well,
Colston Loveland.
while we wait on who this pick
We
is,
didn't have to trade up either.
I got to share something with you, Gregory, especially you.
Oh.
Because we got a big $150 donation for Big Brothers Big Sisters that has come in, and it has come in from Braggs' Hairy Toes.
All right.
Wow.
So shout out to Braggs' Hairy Toes.
That is gross.
I agree. but $150. So thank you, Braggs' Hairy Toes.
Look at that. My toes going to work.
After a day tailgating, his toes got to be just terrible.
Yeah, they're beat
Dirty.
Get that pedicure.
Smelling
Yeah,
the whole bit.
Yeah.
Shoes.
They're beat up.
Shoes is terrible.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to air them things out, you know?
Got to air them dogs out.
Yeah, for sure.
Air them dogs out.
Air them dogs out.
Are your toes donating anything? No, I didn't think so.
I would think they're coming up to get Downs, but that doesn't make sense either. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you figured that out.
That's the best player on the board for me. Why would you have to trade up for anybody we just named? This is an interesting move by the Kansas City Chiefs, who tend to know what they're doing over there in Kansas City.
They got their player, and they're going for it.
Well, again, if you want to donate to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we're going to hear from Jeremy Foster here coming up here in a little bit as well. Do we know if he's here yet? Ready to go? Because that was supposed to be at 7:45, I believe.
Which is in 1 minute. Well, look at the way Hogue just monitors the draft and the time. Professional Hogue.
It's really good.
Yes, I have a watch on.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on. Nobody knows.
There is a lot going on. I just want to know who the Chiefs are picking here, too. I am very happy, though, that they got the hockey game on here at Joe's on Wheat Street, too. That's very
got
kind
basketball, hockey, the draft.
It's weird the Bears not picking in the top 10, I got to say.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
like,
This is finally
a good year.
Change of pace from the last few drafts we've done. This is going to keep things really interesting leading up to 25. You know, and that was the other reason when you asked me, like, who do I want the Bears to take? Of course, Dillon Thieneman. We all keep saying it, but he's not going to be there at 25. And in fact, if he's there at 24, you know how many teams are going to try to trade up in front of the Bears to get him? You know,
exactly.
So it's just like being realistic about who could actually fall to 25 if you're acknowledging that the Bears probably won't trade up.
So here we go. Mansour Delane from LSU, the cornerback. So trade a corner, draft a corner. Trade a corner, draft a corner. And they still kept that other first-round pick that they have later on in the first round. So they get their guy here, their replacement, and he's, at least the top corner that's healthy in this draft.
Good player.
They gave up those picks to move up 3 spots to draft a corner. Who were they worried about was going to take Delane before them?
Well, I mean, he's the best corner, so
people get antsy.
The Saints
they get nervous.
The Saints at 8. I mean,
probably Saints.
All these teams can use corner help. Washington.
Yep.
Well, listen, good player. I'm surprised by what the Chiefs did, like you are, Greg.
That's like Patrick Mahomes. The whole point is surrounding him with more talent. You kind of thought maybe offensive line, maybe receiver. They do have another pick, so we'll see what they do.
Plus that.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Do we have that video? Okay. All right. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about Big Brothers and Big Sisters. As Jeremy Foster is going to join us and tell us a little bit about what's going on there. We always love having Jeremy on the show. So we will, but we're going to show you a quick little message from Big Brothers, Big Sisters before Jeremy joins us.
The 2026 Big Draft is officially underway.
All right. I like your chances. I put in a good word.
And with the first pick in the 2026 Big Draft, Michael from Big Brothers and Big Sisters selects Jose.
Yes. Let's go. Yeah, dude, let's go. All right, let's go.
I tell you something right now, the two of them together, now that's a winning combo. What a match.
Michael.
Yeah, over here.
What went into the decision to draft Jose?
I just saw a kid with a lot of potential. I saw a kid with a lot of artistic ability and someone I could really talk to about the ways that I figured out what I wanted to do with my life and also just do fun things around the city, and it felt like a really easy decision.
Early on, what are the things about him that excite you about this match?
He's adventurous, outgoing, very funny, a lot of interesting stuff to talk about,
It's not just about me, it's not just about him, it's about the pair.
Are we looking at the next dynamic duo?
I think so.
Yeah.
Very cool. That was an awesome video. Shout out to Jose. And we are happy to welcome back to the show Jeremy Foster from Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Jeremy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Already $250 in donations have come in.
All right.
We got almost 2,000 people watching live right now too. So again, if you're looking to make a donation, make that handshake. That button right there on YouTube, you can donate directly.
Yeah, apparently my hairy toes donated $150. And
I know
that's a weird statement to say to you, but it's the truth.
There we go.
It's coming from the chat.
People have weird handles, but if they donate,
coming out from all over.
That's right.
We were out at the your Highwood facility on Monday night. Me and amazing big sister Lori Sayak, our
Big Sister Lori.
Big sister Lori dominating our sales department, leading us to the promised land, and also crushing it with Big Brothers,
And
Big
she
Sisters.
walks very loudly.
Yeah, walks loudly, talks loudly. Greatest acquisition in CHGO history. But we did the ultimate frisbee the other on Monday night. It was competitive out
who
there.
won?
Well, not me, but I don't know if it's appropriate with Big Brothers Big Sisters to blame your little, but I just said, Emiliano, you didn't come ready to play.
Wow.
And,
Wow, what a mentor.
Well, but I shoot him straight. No, this was I have to look in the mirror on how we put that thing together. So it wasn't us. It was a great time though. And you guys had you had a professional Olympic ultimate frisbee person teaching people how to throw the disc and everything. I was learning stuff. It was great.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything new since we last talked to you?
We keep matching more children every day than we did last year, and a big shout out to you guys for the exposure, for the platform, and encouraging a lot of your listeners and viewers to inspire them to become bigs. And you signed up a year ago to answer the call, one of our draftees last year. So thank you.
It's been. I mean, we had a really good time.
Have you taught them tennis yet?
I'm working on that. The Highwood facility, we got the gym going on there, so we've been playing some basketball, getting the left hand going here. Just doing my basic rudimentary skills to make sure that before we start shooting the three ball, let's get the left hand, let's get the layup going here. So we're working hard.
So have you guys, in your front offices, really tried to figure out how to kind of reclamate last year in the draft? Because Clay Matthews comes up, makes a pick, and the Big Brothers, Big Sisters are all on stage. It's a great moment, and then he's holding up a sign that says, "The Bears still suck." Now, we're able to use that content against him going forward because of everything that happened in the last year. So maybe we should be thanking you guys. You set him up. It's like a bait and switch. But now I'm thinking we need to have a little get back on the pack this year with you guys after what he pulled last year.
Well, I think we all can agree the Packers still suck, and I think we
That's
agreed
right,
that last year. So that was the ultimate payback,
Yeah.
beating them twice in the way we did.
They're
so
still
I think,
crying about it. They did not shut up about it.
That fan
Still
base won't get over it.
Yeah, I know you guys also are always looking for more bigs, and
For those who might be watching this segment for the first time, why don't you remind people how to get involved?
Yeah, we're up here to draft the new generation of bigs, or the new class of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It's actually happening all across the country right now. I think our goal is 10,000. We're on our way there. Last year we actually hit that goal, and it's a call to action to be a big brother or a big sister, to be in a young person's life, have fun with that young person, show them what all of Chicagoland has to offer, and you can do that. There is a QR code for those that are in the audience in the back there. Visit my guys back there, or you can visit our website, bbbschgo.org.
And let me tell you, it's not only are you learning skills, not only are you connecting, but you're the amount that I get out of it is it's like tenfold. So anybody who's considering doing it, I can just as best I can just tell you, you will come out of there feeling fulfilled.
And I think we can all relate, at that age and the different, variances of ages you guys have it at your program of trying to figure out your pathway to life. I mean, it took me a long time. So I totally understand that fear, right, of trying to and trying to gain as many different perspectives as you can to try to figure out, hey, what's going to be my route way. And the thing, when Carm talks about the events you guys do and the functions you guys do on a weekly basis, the one thing I consistently hear is there isn't phones out. Right?
Exactly.
And it's got to be even harder because when I was growing up, we didn't really have the phone the way it is nowadays. And these kids already have so much to learn through developmental stages of their life throughout high school and beyond. And now you've got this phone that really takes away from that as well. And it sounds like you guys are really putting kids back where they need to be. And that's being creative, getting out there, exposing yourself and figuring things out, face to face.
There's no substitute for real human connection.
Right.
And the thing is that the kids eat that up. So they don't even think about their phones with their bigs, but you mentioned something that's critical, right? It's about positive experiences, shared experiences with somebody that keeps showing up and has their back and doing that time and time again. You're approaching a year.
Yep,
right?
in September.
As a Big Brother in September, you'll be a year in, and that's what it's about, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Jeremy, we always appreciate having you here. We just had another $20 donation come in, so we'll keep those coming in all night. We're not slowing down here. Always good to talk to you, and shout out to Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Thank you very much for having me.
Once again.
Appreciate you.
All Bears.
All right, while we're switching seats here again, I'm just going to update you on some of the picks that have been going on since We last talked about the Chiefs jumping up to number 6 to draft the corner, Mansour Delane, out of LSU, top corner in the draft. 5'11", almost full 6 feet, 187, and a very good player. And then number 7, Washington Commanders go with linebacker Sonny Styles from Ohio State, which means that Ohio State had 3 players drafted in the top 7, and 3 out of 4 picks in the top 7 were Buckeyes.
And they couldn't beat IU.
They couldn't beat Indiana. What a bunch of losers.
What a bunch of losers.
I would also say the best Ohio State player has yet to be drafted in Caleb Downs. So there's maybe another one coming here within the top 10 as Jerry Zuma is making his way to the stage. Let's go 23.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Isn't that what you chant?
23. Carm, you are the father.
Whoa.
Stop it. What's going on, fellas?
Zoom? How
Good
was
to
the
see you guys.
Zoom
What's
threw
up,
out.
see ya.
All right, so Jerry threw out the first pitch at the Cubs game
I did.
yesterday.
It was fun.
How did it go? Did
You know
you
how
throw
it
a
went.
strike?
Hey, I made the glove pop.
Let's go.
That's all I did.
Love it.
Um,
Love it.
The ball did not touch the ground.
All right.
That's
Right.
always the goal.
So,
That's
I got
always
it
the
there. I got it there.
right.
My kids were watching, so
In the middle of a winning streak, too. You don't want to mess up the juju going on over there.
brought the win. We're
There
eating
we go.
W's.
9 in a row.
Now, for someone like me who didn't play in the NFL, I had a chance to do that at the White Sox game, and it was like the most nerve-wracking, like most pressure.
It's a lot of pressure
I
out
was
there.
like,
It's lonely out there.
And I threw a strike, so I was like, I'm going to hold on to that moment the rest of my life. But, like, how did that compare, since your playing days, just getting the adrenaline going and understanding the pressure in front of a giant crowd at Wrigley Field? That's,
You know what?
come on, man.
There wasn't pressure from the crowd at all. It was mostly my kids. My kids were just chirping in my ear. They were like, Dad, you better not bounce this ball. You better throw a strike, this and that and the other thing. And I'm just like, oh, my goodness. It's a lot of pressure from my own kids.
It's a big moment.
It is a big moment, but it was a lot of fun. They got to be on the Jumbotron and everything, so they were living it up.
The young ones need to know.
Yeah, they do.
It ain't
They
enough
do.
that you made it to the NFL.
I didn't let them down. I did not let them down.
Good work. Yeah, what are your early thoughts on how this draft is unfolding here?
It's interesting how it's all unfolding right now. The Giants got a dog, you know what I'm saying, and also Ohio State. I think they got, three guys in the
three
top,
out of the last 4 picks.
oh, my goodness. It is just NFLU over there. It's wild. But this is exactly how I thought it'd happen. There's some really good talented players that are coming up, but, the Giants, I think the Giants got a nice one right there.
I'll ask you the same question we went through at the top of the show. Bring it back to the Bears for a minute. I asked everybody up here on stage, you want to see the Bears trade up? And if so, who's your guy? Stay at 25. Who are you aiming for? Or would you like to see him trade back?
I don't necessarily see the Bears trading up to go get a guy. It's such a big question mark. 25 is just kind of like no man's land, actually. So I actually think that either they stay there or they trade back and get more picks. Obviously, we need some defensive players, preferably on the defensive line, a corner, a safety, obviously. So I think the concentration will be on the defensive side of the football. But then again, on the offensive line, they can always use help. They always need some depth there. Caleb is obviously the future, so you have to make sure that you protect him because we don't want what happened in his first season.
We got another wide receiver that just came off the board. The Saints are drafting Jordyn Tyson from Arizona State.
Wow.
I do not like that pick at all for New Orleans, but congratulations to New Orleans.
Why don't you like it?
It's too injured, man. I'm not a fan of
That's his knock.
Of guys that have struggled to stay on the field. I mean, he's feisty, he's sturdy, he's speedy. That's what I wrote down watching him. He was born on August 12th, which is a day after me. So shout out to him. But he also missed 34% of his team's games over the past 4 years, and it's a lot of injuries. We got a hamstring injury, we got an ankle injury, we got a collarbone injury. It's too much. We got a left knee. 8 overall. You're taking a big risk in my mind.
I think it's too big of a risk. There's a lot of injuries, and the NFL season is not getting any shorter. In college, it seems like they're just adding more and more games, the playoffs and things like that. Then you obviously have to go through the All-Star game, and then from there you start trading for the combine. And then after that, you get drafted, and then you go right into the NFL. So it's like they don't really have a lot of rest. So the injuries might come into play. You know, I don't necessarily like this pick also because of those injuries, but they see something that they like in this guy.
Well, and speaking of that, one thing I just noticed was we have not had an offensive lineman come off the board yet. And Francis Mauigoa from Miami, who really up until about maybe a week ago, or really until Schefter had published on that story he wrote Monday, was a surefire top 10 pick, it seemed like. The right tackle out of Miami. A lot of people still think he'll go in the top 10, so we got 2 picks left. The Browns are now on the clock at 9 because they traded back with the Chiefs, and then the Giants are there at 10. But he's got this herniated disc in his back. And Schefter threw out there that some teams think he might need surgery on it. This just had me having flashbacks to Tevin Jenkins. But Tevin Jenkins at least was a second-round pick.
Right.
And, like, he had all his back history, and you're like, oh, well, he fell in the second round so you could live with it. And then, sure enough, training camp started, and he was, out for 3 weeks, and then he had this huge thing, and it was a problem. To do that with a top 10 pick is really scary to me.
Risky.
So I don't know if Mauigoa is going to fall, but if I was in the top 10, I'd be staying away from him personally.
I mean, he does have 42 starts under his belt, so he's been on the field. And when I was watching him, I wrote down violent, great ass, and he moves well. Those were my 3.
Great ass.
You gotta have it.
Oh my
He moves well, or the ass moves well?
The ass is moving well. He moves well. The whole thing is.
You been
Do you
watching?
have an ass ranking?
You need. We talk about this, and I know people get a little uncomfortable, but look, you need to have a big rump if you're going to play a tackle position in the NFL. Do you not?
I mean, I guess. I've never played that position.
Yeah, exactly right. You wouldn't want that for what you do out there, but if you're going to sit there and protect the quarterback, you got to have it.
All right, real quick, I got to shout out Jordan Brody, who sent in $200, a donation to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So thank
Jordan.
you, Jordan Brody. And we got something, a new tweak here tonight. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't worry, don't go anywhere. We're actually not going to stop talking. But if you are watching this show right now live on one of our TV providers that we also offer the CHGO channels across FAST channels, we do have a quick timeout here, which we will take right now. All right, guys, we'll keep the conversation going. Browns on the clock right now. We just saw Jordyn Tyson go off to the Saints. They draft another wide receiver, and that's the second wide receiver off the board because Carnell Tate ended up going to the top 5, which was a little surprising. Number 4 overall to the Titans.
It was cool to see Jordyn Tyson's emotions as he came out. It was a lot. It was really good.
That was cool.
Yeah, Steven's saying a bunch of snot came out. I mean, he was bawling his eyes out, but it was
way
really
to
cool
ruin
to
the
see.
moment, Steven.
Yeah.
Jesus,
some
get
people
him a
are heavy
tissue.
criers.
Why didn't Roger Goodell have the tissues ready?
It's all right if he ugly cries.
Give us our comp picks back.
He just got picked in the top 10.
Well,
he can ugly cry all he wants.
I'd be doing some ugly crying.
Congratulations to Jordyn Tyson. I hope he stays healthy and works out for him. This is the first time in a long time, by the way, the Cleveland Browns are getting props for the trade down, getting extra picks, and they're sitting there at 9. The Browns are actually having a good start to their draft right now. Way to go, Cleveland.
Well, they did this last year, too, right? They moved back to the Jacksonville Jaguars, moved up to draft who's apparently now just a corner. They've decided. And so, I think the Browns are maybe getting their act together, by the way. And Todd Monken, I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to Todd Monken, but he's fun.
I'm a Todd Monken fan.
He swears a lot. He's like, he's just very football-y. He's a football guy.
Yeah.
One of the guys.
He dresses like a substitute math teacher who has no intention
Kinda
to
like
teach you any math. Excuse me, I am dressed really nice tonight.
You are dressed like a meatball.
Thank you.
As usual.
Thank you.
I think you've worn that outfit to 4 straight draft parties.
That's right. I have one suit that I wear to every wedding, and I have one outfit for every draft party.
And you're good.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is interesting with the Francis Mauigoa stuff I was just talking about because the Browns did take a tackle here at number 9, but it is not Mauigoa. It is Spencer Fano from Utah, who ends up being the first offensive tackle taken in the 2026 draft. So a little bit of a curveball there. And Fano, interesting player, 6'5.5", 312 pounds, but he's got shorter arms
The Browns are just unbelievable. They put themselves in a great position, and then they go Fano. Come on, Browns.
Right tackle only.
They might see something that we don't.
Yeah, right tackle only might have to slide inside the guard. I'm sure the Browns will say he's the greatest offensive tackle ever. He is physical. I'll give him that. He loves contact. He can be a bully in the run game, and he does have quick hands and fluid feet. So if he can get over the short arms thing. Top 10 pick here. That's what he is.
What I wrote down for Fano, I wrote, I am not a Fano. He's light. He's a good mover. He can add weight, but how long is that going to take?
What about his ass?
Exactly. I did give him credit. He was durable. He played 37 straight games over 3 years. But the biggest thing about him, he's so fast. He ran a 4.9 140. He's got a 32-inch vertical. Who the hell cares? He's a tackle. That doesn't matter. Well, he weighs 314 pounds. He's too light. That's what you have. I am telling you that my guy. I like Monroe Freeling better. I don't like the pick.
I would say this much, and I'm not going to pretend to be an offensive line expert, but what I am going to say is going to the combine and talking to so many. You think there's a lot of Ohio State players, and there are. There are a lot of Texas A&M defensive players, and every single one of them, to a man, if you ask them, what was your toughest matchup? They would say Utah, because their offensive line was stout, and we got Caleb Lomu.
2 first-round picks. Yeah.
Caleb Lomu, I'm sure, is going to come off the board at some point here in the first round. Maybe to the Bears. You never know. But
Francis Mauigoa off the board, by the way. He ends up going in the top 10. He goes to the Giants. The Giants, Giants sitting there with 2 top 10 picks just kind of had Arvell Reese and Francis Mauigoa. I mean, if Mauigoa is healthy, that's a pretty good haul for 2 top 10 picks.
That's a great day for the Giants. I would
protect the passer, get after the passer.
Well, that's the thing when you talk about luck of the draw when it comes to the quarterbacks and the quarterback class of each draft. Well, the Giants have a quarterback in Jackson Dart. The Browns are still trying to figure out who their quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Is it going to be Dillon Gabriel? I mean, I'm sure they're going to lean heavily into Sanders, but they really don't have any assurances there right now. So you can have a left tackle all day. Yeah. Still got to figure out who your quarterback is.
The Giants can be sneaky good this year. They could turn some things around. Offensively, they have some pieces in place to do some damage. They got Dart. They got Scatterboo. If Neighbors comes back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They have some offensive production. They can have some offensive production.
I'm a fan of Jackson Dart. I know some aren't, but I am.
Me too. I think Harbaugh's he's gonna be very productive for them.
Yeah. I'm also a fan of
Boogie's in the house.
Briggs in the house.
What's up? Let's go. L Boogie in the house.
Boogie.
Let's give L Boogie a
Future
hand.
Hall of Famer just walked in.
Yeah.
The future Hall of Famer just walked in.
Crowd obviously very attentive.
Yeah. It's very good. Very good. Everybody's enjoying themselves here at Joe's on Weed Street.
Bring it back.
There it is.
A lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
Any
A lot
reaction?
of interesting ones.
All the tackles off the board, huh?
Yep,
2.
just had back-to-back finally.
tackles.
But Mauigoa ended up going second. Spencer Fano was the first one off the board to Cleveland, then Mauigoa to the Giants at number 10. Now the Cowboys, a lot of talk about them trading up. They end up staying pat. They're going to pick here at 11. We'll see who they end up going with.
Yeah.
You still got Caleb Downs there. Rueben Bain.
Rueben Bain, just like I could picture him as a Cowboy.
Yeah.
He just
Same with Keylan Downs.
Yep.
Yeah, both of them, honestly.
It's going to be interesting here.
Who's your favorite for the Bears?
I want an offensive lineman.
Oh, man.
Never mind. So, which guy is your favorite for the Bears?
Favorite for the Bears? Probably the cat. Safety. I'm going to go safety.
All right. Never mind. Here we go.
You don't like the defensive side of the ball?
You better answer this.
I'm talking edge. I'm talking edge here.
Oh, man.
I'm talking edge here.
Stop. We need a DT. That's what we need. We need to know.
Okay, I'll give you either the edge guys from Miami. I think Rueben Bain's going to be gone. I'm hoping Mesidor falls because I love Akheem Mesidor. Let's go.
Finally,
Let's
a guy
go.
that understands me.
We're not going to get him.
Understands me.
Well, Briggsy, how do you feel with Mesidor 6 years in college, right? So my That's a long time. It's a new era in college football.
Clearly.
So it's something that I think all teams are going to have to get used to, especially not just
but what's your problem with him having 6 years of experience before he comes to the league?
Because that's my question. Is
more hits.
It's not even more hits. It's
more
how
plays.
How can you trust what you're evaluating when you've got a 6-year guy going up against guys that he's potentially 5 years older than in some cases? So he should dominate those guys, right? So his tape should look good in his 6th year. Like, my question is, how can you trust the tape when he's going up against younger guys? And then how can I trust that there's no more development that needs to be had? He's 25 years old. I'm fine drafting him, but that means he's plug and play, no more development. He comes in as a game wrecker right out the gate because you can't have a couple years of him trying to figure out the league.
Right. Okay, so let me give you an example here. All right, you have, of my top 3 that could possibly be available at 25, Cassius Howell, R. Mason Thomas. All right?
Ooh.
Those guys, great first step. Those guys are going to be, off the rip, they're going to be great, I think, pass rushers. The notes that I have on both of them equally, struggle on rundowns. Mesidor comes as a complete defensive end already. All right, so what you have to wait to develop from Howell and see from Thomas is, can they be effective on rundowns? Mesidor right now is effective on rundowns and pass downs. What else do you want, right?
I think he's ready-made. I think he is one of the guys that can come in and play every down and contribute as a rookie. So I'm willing to, especially when you consider where the Bears are right now. If they were 3 or 4 years away from competing, I'd be like, okay, maybe don't draft a 25-year-old guy. But they need somebody who can play now, like you said, Briggs. So I'm hoping he falls. I also tend to agree with you, Zoom. I don't think he does. But
I personally think that he's going to be gone, and I think we're going to be looking at a safety. I think that we need some help in the backfield, the secondary backfield. And I think that the safeties that they have right now that are on the board, I think that they can help us.
We got a long list of safeties. And we got some good ones. We got some good ones. We're going to get one.
We're going to get one.
Well, Caleb Downs is still out there right now, unless the Cowboys are taking him right now.
I think they're going to take him.
Well, but I also think there's an opportunity potentially for you to be patient on safety and get that safety in the 2nd round. And so if that's the case, then it comes down to D-line versus O-line. And I don't have a problem with either. You can make a strong case for both, in my opinion.
As far as I think you take the best available. So let's say we go in this first round and we take an edge. Okay, we take the best available edge. Mm-hmm. Now you take the best available safety or let's say D tackle, but it's going to be the best. Safety's going to outweigh the D tackle. Okay. In my opinion, in the 2nd round, and for that first pick. Safety's going to outweigh it just because I think it's a better safety draft than it is an interior defensive lineman draft.
Well, let me ask you about one of those guys I'm sure you know a ton about, Traden Stukes, because, Arizona, he's been – that name, I was thinking of him more as a 3rd rounder. All of a sudden I was seeing this week, maybe someone takes him in the 2nd. What do you think about him?
I think he's an awesome talent. Would love to see him in the navy blue and orange. He's done some. I think playmaking-wise, he's done some great things. I don't know. I don't.
We get it.
Right. So when I look at the tape, if we drafted Traden Stukes, I'd be happy. I think we're getting a great player.
It's only because he went to Arizona.
He's gonna make plays for us. Listen, he's gonna make plays for us.
The fit might be the question.
If Jalen Kilgore is available, if Keontae Scott is available.
Oh, I love Scott.
You know what I mean? Right? Yeah. Like if Keontae Scott is available, you got to go with him first. If Jalen Kilgore is available, you got to go with him first.
Yep.
Then
they said Stukes might sneak into the 1st round. Some have him maybe the 25th pick for the Bears.
So Fran Duffy, our draft expert, he wrote in his write-up for Stukes, I don't think the traits are quite there as an every down presence, but I see a player who can be very useful in the back end of a zone-heavy defense, primarily in sub-packages as a big nickel and potentially tight end matchup in the middle of the field. I don't know that's a perfect fit for what Dennis Allen's trying to run out there. They want fast, interchangeable safeties. That's one of the reasons why I like Keontae Scott so much.
To turn the conversation back here to the D-line versus O-line.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say, and we talked a lot about this last year on Brick by Brick.
By the way, Caleb Downs is the pick to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Caleb Downs to the Cowboys. Very interesting. Great player.
You can carry on with your thoughts. I just want to make sure people –
Ohio State, right?
So this is why I've had tunnel vision on O-line for the last 2 months. But here's part of the reason why, and I'll admit this. I just have more trust in this offensive coaching staff to identify who they need for their system and develop them. Right now, this same coaching staff, but on the defensive side of the ball, D-line coach, D coordinator, and now Ben Johnson maybe having a bigger voice in that room maybe than he did a year ago at this time. Dio Dangbo didn't work out. Grady Jarrett didn't work out. Shamar Turner, still a wait and see. I'm not writing his career off, but he didn't work out. They drafted somebody.
He's not working out. He's playing DN now.
Right, and
Dio was hurt.
And he was injured.
Right, Dio.
And he got hurt. And Dio
I want my
got
number
hurt.
back.
So all I'm saying is, I just still have to get some proof in the pudding from these guys to say, all right, whoever you draft, I know it's going to work out based off of your previous evaluation of talent and showing me how you could develop that talent. The only bone I'll throw to the defensive coaching staff last year is that they did show me what they could do with Austin Booker once he got on the football field. So there is some semblance of hope, but from a confidence standpoint, with that first-round pick, I'm still leaning offensive line because I know for sure Ben Johnson and Dan Rochar will make him right.
Okay, we're talking Dennis Allen, right? Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Okay,
yes.
So he was at the Saints, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about his best defensive end that he had at the Saints.
Yep.
That would be Cameron Jordan.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Does Cassius Howell or R. Mason Thomas remind you of Cameron Jordan?
I wouldn't say so.
The closest you're going to get to Cameron Jordan is Mesidor.
Yeah.
That's true.
If he's available. And so we're talking about this defense. Who fits in this defense? That's the guy who fits the best.
It's a very specific defense, too.
It's very specific.
He's a very specific person.
Now, I do think, and I've a little bit of inside information here, I know Dennis Allen is the I need long, big, tall defensive end guys. Right. I'm not so sure everybody in the organization thinks the same way. So I look at them already having some of those guys on the roster. Remember, Ryan Poles is still the guy making the draft picks. And so I wouldn't completely cross R. Mason Thomas off the list or Cassius Howell just because they're not as long or they're smaller. Because I'll tell you what, this defense, in my opinion, what they really need, they need that twitchy, bendy guy that can really get around the edge. And sometimes when you have these taller, longer guys, you're sacrificing that bend. Yep. And so I would be fine if they take one of these smaller guys because that's what I feel like they're lacking right now. And really what the emphasis has been on defense so far, we haven't had really a chance to talk about this much in the offseason with you guys, but they're trying to get faster. And we spent so much at the end of the season talking about how slow they were and how and at every level they're trying to get faster right now.
You know where I'm gonna go with this.
Hippolyte's about to catch a stray.
Right to the neck too. Shoot. I agree. Getting faster. To me, doing a better job of getting to the ball faster.
Right.
It's if the answer is you're going to sell to the fan base and everybody else, well, this guy runs a 4.3, so we can get to the ball faster, or this guy runs a 4.4, so we can get to the ball faster. No, then I'm going to have a lot of pushback on that. Getting to the ball faster, turning and running to the ball at the highest level. Number one, it's not hard. It's one of those deals that it's everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. Whether you run a 4.6, 4.5, 4.4, whatever it is, everybody can run to the doggone ball. If you can recognize you've got pre-snap, you have your keys. As soon as your keys are done, you're headed to that doggone ball. 11 hats should be headed to the ball. And if you do that consistently, it's, it ain't going to matter what your 40 time says. There's guys that run 4.3s and 4.4s that aren't getting to the ball faster than some of the other guys. The delusion to me is just because this guy runs a fast 40 time, he's going to get to the ball faster.
He doesn't know his angles. He doesn't know pre-snap.
You're exactly right, Lance. I mean, a lot of emphasis gets put on the 40 time, but I don't really care about that. There's guys that I played with that aren't necessarily blazers, but they are the first ones to the football. They play instinctively. They play with their eyes in front of them, and they just are really good at angles. So you're exactly right. It's not necessarily all about the speed, but it's all about the person and how they react to the ball, and if they can get to the ball at a quick pace.
Is he competitive? Is the kid ultra competitive? You look at Caleb Downs, his timeline. And the reason why he's drafted so high, he's an ultra competitive, ultra smart kid. Yeah. He's a can't miss candidate. Obviously when you break down his dad and how his dad was and how his dad, introduced the game to him and how he's an ultimate student of the game. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why he'll get to the ball fast and he'll run a fast time. So you put all of it together. Yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing.
So let's do this. We're late for a break, and we got to check in with Adam Jahns at Hallis Hall. I want to hear from you guys again. Maybe once we get past the Lions and Vikings, they pick at 17 and 18. We get a little bit closer to the Bears pick. We see how these next ones fall in. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a better idea if Mesidor is still available. Some of these guys. So don't go anywhere because Jerry Zuma, Lance Briggs, we're going to hear from them plenty tonight, both before and after the Bears pick. But Adam Jahns is standing by at Hallis Hall. We are going to talk to him next. But first.
Hey, shout out to our friends at Sunnyside. Sunnyside Dispensary is here to elevate your NFL draft night, your baseball season. Wow, Cubs 9 in a row. Stop by Wrigley, and it's right across the street at the Sunnyside. Walk in, and I don't know, the Cubs may never lose again, and then you'll be enjoying it because you stopped by Sunnyside. That's right. Wherever you are in Illinois, they've got a place for you. And, of course, you can go to their website. Only the best under the sun. Yep. 50% off, 50 on your first 3 online purchases. How do you do that? Well, use the promo code HICHGO, HICHGO. Put that in at checkout. You will qualify, 50% off. That's huge. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun and only for 21 or older or Illinois medical card holders. And a reminder, 100 different strains to choose from. They've got something for everybody when you go to their locations or you order online. Shout out to our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary.
Yeah, we're all looking for ways to stand out at work. Some of us get there super early and watch random videos on our computer. Some of us have cigars out on the balcony, and others complain about not having a desk anymore that we never used.
You are good at that.
So, hey, what if I could tell you here that there's an easy way to save your company hundreds of thousands of dollars? That would make you stand out at work.
That I've been trying to do that.
I can think of one way we could save 100.
That's pretty good. Hey, this is way easier. Sign up for a free facility assessment from ComEd. Their engineer will give you free insights and actions that could help save your business on energy costs. Basically, ComEd's going to come out and create a plan to help you stand out. You, Carm.
Me.
And your business will save, and it's free.
That's huge.
Visit ComEd.com/facility assessment to learn more. Actual savings will vary based on customers' usage and rates. We have a couple more picks and potentially a stunner here, but to catch you up, Caleb Downs going number 11 to the Dallas Cowboys. That means 4 Ohio State Buckeyes in the top 11 picks.
Wow.
And then Kadyn Proctor does go pretty high. He's the 3rd offensive tackle taken, and he goes to Miami. And is it confirmed that Ty Simpson is going to the – it hasn't been officially announced, so that was a little bit of a bombshell. Hey, if you're here in the crowd, it's the last call to go see our friends at Game Day Men's Health over there and get in potentially to win that Jim McMahon signed jersey.
Go win the Jim McMahon thing and go to Game Day Men's Health. They've got locations all over the place. You will feel so much better that you did.
So, again, last call on the Jim McMahon jersey. We're going to draw it probably in our next break. Just wanted to give a shout-out to that one. And thank you, Game Day Men's Health, for being here. We see you out there. All right, let's go out to Hallis Hall, where Adam Jahns is standing by and looking as good as ever. He recovered very quickly this week. Recovered way faster than Carm ever does from his tennis matches.
What was he doing?
What's up, Jay?
He was sick. I thought he was like drinking a lot or something.
I was feeling sick earlier
this
week, Rags. Got my Game Day Men's Health in, as Carm always recommends, so here we are.
Johnsy, I'm going to cut right to the chase here. Thank you, Stephen. Do you see a scenario right now with the way the board is falling that the Bears might be interested in a trade-up the way this is there's some interesting names out there. Rueben Bain, one of them. Perhaps Olaivavega Ioane. I don't know here. What do you think?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. I understand maybe there's a few players on the board that are going to intrigue you, but let's not forget that conversation that Ryan Poles said he had with Ian Cunningham last year about not wanting to trade up. Like, don't do it. Trust your board. Trust things to fall your way. So maybe it's on Jeff King this time as the Bears' new assistant GM to talk Ryan Poles out of such moves. But no, trust your board. Trust all the evaluations and all the hard work that was put into it, and let the players come to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this offseason has kind of shown the blueprint, right? I mean, they didn't push their chips all in free agency, so why would you expect them to do it tonight? It really feels like this year is about bolstering and continuing what they built last year. And if you're going to push your chips all in, that would be a next offseason agenda, potentially.
Braggs, you still have so many needs of so many different levels, especially on defense, the defensive line. Second level, if you want to find a replacement for TJ Edwards, you have a hole right there at safety next to Coby Bryant. You probably need another starting safety opposite Jalen Johnson after this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Poles tried to turn this into a very deep, long draft for the Chicago Bears where they have 7, 8, 9 selections. Trading back should probably interest the Bears more than trading up because of all their needs, specifically on defense, where you can talk about it at all three levels.
Jahns, as we sort of predicted, this has become very quickly became a rip-up-your-mock draft type of draft. I mean, even number 2, David Bailey, going to the Jets, Jeremiyah Love, Carnell Tate, it just started to spiral pretty quickly with some surprises. Anything stand out to you the most here as we are pretty much 13 picks in? And by the way, it is now official. The Rams have taken Ty Simpson. There's always a team that needs their quarterback. Dan Orlovsky will love this one, but Ty Simpson going to the Rams. I mean, it's a good spot for him. He can at least learn behind Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and that's been a place where some quarterbacks have gone to play behind Stafford and end up resurrecting careers. I'm looking at Baker Mayfield and what he became after his short stint with Sean McVay. So, yeah, that's a shocker, but I'm sure other teams behind the Rams, specifically the Chicago Bears, are very happy about that because now it's another good player that remains on their board with all their positions of need.
It's a really interesting trade. I'm sorry, I'm getting myself caught up right now by Dallas going up one pick to get Caleb Downs, giving up 177 and 180 because they were afraid that either somebody was going to come up or the Dolphins were going to take him. But I really Downs falling where the Cowboys could get him. To me, when you talk about winners tonight, Dallas stands out, even though they had to give up a couple of picks. The Rams thing's interesting because a lot of people thought that the Cardinals had their eyes on Simpson, and then it makes me slightly nervous because would Tyson be back in some level of conversation with the Cardinals?
I kind of was a little surprised with Ty Simpson, but I guess it makes sense. They're trying to replace Matthew Stafford, and it would be a good fit for him, kind of like Mendoza with over there in Oakland. So,
yeah, I mean, the one thing about the Cowboys, and you talk about that pick, right? I mean, Micah Parsons once fell to them once upon a time, I believe wasn't it the 11th pick in the draft? I'm going to have to go back and look. 12th overall pick because Justin Fields was the 11th overall pick in that draft. But to that point, once upon a time, you got Micah falls to you. Now you got Caleb Downs falling to you here.
Exactly. So Jahns, we're 12 picks away from the Bears pick. I'm just going through my notes here on some of the guys at positions of need. We've talked a lot about. Rueben Bain has not been selected yet. Keldric Faulk has not been selected yet. Akheem Mesidor has not been selected yet. TJ Parker has been linked to the Bears quite a bit. We go on to defensive tackle. We got Peter Woods is still out there. Caden McDonald with the offensive tackles. You still have Monroe Freeling out there as well, and Caleb Lomu, and your guy Maxi Iheanachor. I don't know if I just named 12 guys or not, but it sure seems like I didn't even go to the safeties either. I mean, Dillon Thieneman, you add him to the group. It does seem like maybe the Bears are going to be in a position where maybe they don't have to trade up because, these guys are starting to fall. Enough of them seem to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Laying out it just that way with all those different players at different positions is another example or another way to argue against trading up. There are good players at a variety of different positions that will be there at number 25 for the Bears. Save your draft capital. Maybe even consider trading back 1 or 2 spots if you have a team desperate to move up for, well, look what the Dallas Cowboys did, Teams get desperate, teams get antsy, but if you're the Bears and you have all these different needs at different positions, play the board. Trust your evaluations.
Is there anybody that's still on the board that you've looked at over the last few weeks and said, man, this is one guy I do not want the Bears to draft?
Oh, that is a good question. To be honest, Hogan and I had this conversation just yesterday. I had some questions about Kadyn Proctor just because of how much of a physical outlier he was because of his size and everything. There aren't many examples of players at his stature, 6'5", 352 pounds, I think actually taller than that, where they have longevity, a long-term successful career for a variety of different reasons. In most instances, those players switch positions. So to me, I had questions about Proctor's longevity. Like, I see the promise. I see the potential. I understand why you might want to take a swing on everything that he can provide your team at left tackle. But at the same time, the numbers and the history show you that he would be such an outlier if he became a mainstay at left tackle, and especially if he becomes an all-pro.
I'm with you on Kadyn Proctor. I eventually wrote down no here in red in my notes when I finally came push comes to shove, and he ends up going 12th. He fell a little bit. Mike Tice said something on that podcast that resonated with me, talking to Nate. And he's just like, some of these guys, they're right tackles only. They might need to go to guard. And he's like, do you play left tackle or not? Can you play the position or not? And the Bears, now some teams have multiple needs. They might need a right tackle and a left tackle. They might need a guard. So they can take that chance, and if they have to kick them inside, it's still a win. But where the Bears are right now, 4 of their spots, they could use another center, but 4 of their starting spots are pretty much set. So if you're going to use a first-round pick, you need that guy to be able to play left tackle. So if I have a question on Kadyn Proctor, I ultimately said no to that one.
Yeah, I agree that size at 352, the longevity, that's just so much weight on your joints at that point for the knees, the hips, the back. You just kind of got to wonder, is he going to slim down over the years? I guarantee if he's going to be successful, he's going to have to get down in the 330s for sure.
I really like watching him, though, and if I would be excited to watch him if I was the Miami Dolphins. Who knows the health thing? I guess that's a fair point. And sure, he might not be able to play left tackle, I guess, but I wouldn't bet on that. I think he'll fit in fine. I think he could be even dominant. I hate what the Rams just did. Ty Simpson has played 5 games in his career. What, 15? One year?
15. It's essentially the Trubisky of this draft.
The history of players who have played 15 starts one season is not good. Mitch Trubisky, Anthony Richardson, guys who have not played the position. I know that he's got this big coaching pedigree in his family and all that, but to me that's crazy, let alone the fact that you're still trying to win a Super Bowl and you have the 13th that you can help out Matthew Stafford and company to jump for Ty Simpson. That's wild to me, completely wild.
But in this draft, you see everybody has their guy, and somebody in that organization fell in love with him. That's really what it is.
Jahns, do you have a feeling right now for the Bears at 25? Anything?
Well, hang on. I wanted to update something. If you hated that pick, wait till you find out what the Ravens did, because your guy is gone. Vega Ioane.
There it is.
He is off the board in the most Ravens pick ever.
They always get it right.
We'll just take a Hall of Fame guard. Yeah, sure, why not? They just did it again. The Ravens, Johnsy.
Yeah, at some point, like, if I'm the Bears, Hogan, you and I had this conversation yesterday. Like, who are the players that you're starting to get antsy about? Like, who are the players that you really want to stay on your board? Like, is it Dillon Thieneman? Is it Rueben Bain? Like, are you now hoping Rueben Bain slips to you into the 20s? I'm not talking about moving up, but if you're in that draft room, who are you feeling anxious about at this point? To me, it's Dillon Thieneman. To me, it's Monroe Freeling. At this point, we're entering the range where you think some offensive linemen could go, specifically at left side, looking at the Detroit Lions coming up here. Then you got the Minnesota Vikings, maybe, where Thieneman's been mocked for seemingly forever. That probably means it's not going to happen. But some interesting players still left on the board, that's for sure.
I just wonder, Johnsy, because some of these guys could be in a higher tier. Rueben Bain,
You would think he's going to the next two.
Could be in a higher tier. Monroe Freeling could be in a higher tier. And at what point, this is why you have these conversations leading up to the draft. You start to set up some trades. And I brought this up, I know, at some point this week on one of the shows. The Lions sitting there at 17 and the Vikings sitting there at 18. The fact that you have two division rivals sitting there ahead of you, and right now there's only one team because the Bucs pick is already in. We don't know who it is yet. Sure, it's on Twitter, but I don't have it in front of me. And then the Jets are on the clock right now. So there's really only one opportunity. If you are going to move ahead of your divisional rivals, it's right now. I'm not saying that's happening. I doubt it is. I just think it's part of the conversation. If one of these guys that you really view, Jahns, like a potential Rueben Bain, like at what point does he become reachable in a trade?
Yeah. To me, it's got to be such a distinct separation on your board between him and everybody else. Like, he's got to be the last remaining blue chip player on your board. He's got that Bears logo on his name, and then there's not a few players left, who don't have players who lack that blue chip grade by the Chicago Bears. I'm willing to believe there's 2 or 3 of those players still left from the board. They're blue chip grades for this year's draft class, because it's been an unpredictable year. This is one of those years where teams will view players in so many different ways, and the board will be tiered, stacked differently, all across the league. But to me, if you're trading up for a Rueben Bain or a Monroe Freeling, he's got to be distinguishably separated from the rest of the board that you're looking at ALLCITY. And I don't know if they are.
And speaking of Rueben Bain, I'm looking at the edge position, Johnsy. Look at last year, the Bears, they really struggled with the pass rush. So obviously, I'm looking at Rueben Bain. I'm looking at Mesidor. I'm looking at Zion Young and Keldric Faulk. Those are the two guys that I think are really raw players, and especially when you look at Faulk. He has so much flexibility. He could play literally any position. He's played 3 technique. He's played a 0, a 1. He could stand up and rush. He could play the 5. He could play the 9. Any of those guys kind of stand out for you if they're there at 25. Obviously, Bain and Mesidor for me. If they're there, we got to pull the trigger. But any of those other guys I mentioned stand out to you?
Corey, they all kind of do, because we know how much the Bears need pass rush help. So there's only, 2 pass rushers, 2 edge rushers taken so far in the draft. So when does the next pass rusher get taken? And then who comes after that? Like, does the next pass rusher take and start a run on the position? This has been called a very deep class, and the Bears have the 57th and 60th pick. Like, which players do you think can reach you there in the second round? So if I'm the Bears, yes, I have interest in all those players you just mentioned, but now I'm starting to wonder, like, when does this run on pass rushers on this very deep class start? Does it start now? Does it start in a couple picks? Because that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm getting fearful of. That's what I'm preparing for if I'm the Chicago Bears.
So maybe you're whittling this down, right? I mean,
but there's also supposed to be a run on tackles, and then at what point are the safeties still available? There's someone's going to be available.
But that's my point. If edge and safety are things you could potentially wait on, and you get to 25, and you're looking at D tackle and O line, if enough of those guys are still on the board, you can trade back a little bit to get a little more juice in the second round. So be it. But maybe this is, through this conversation we're having with you, Jahns, kind of circling where it would make the most sense for what the Bears should do at 25, and that would be D-tackle or O-line, considering if you don't get those first few guys that are the remaining players available, it's going to fall off the next time you come around to pick.
And so when you look at D-tackle, for me, it's Peter Woods. I mean, he's a real disruptor in there. We talk about the 3 technique position and really the premium in there. Wrecker in the run game. I saw a move that reminded me a lot of primetime Tommy Harris. Okay. Set the guy up what we call the jab ole, where you get him going this way, swipe, and then come arm over. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. I think Peter Woods is that engine that runs this defense that could be available at that 25th pick that I would be on board with.
Peter Woods his production was not great this year, but Peter Woods got a lot more attention this year than he got last year. Peter Woods has a seriousness to him that is attractive.
Well, we can end the Rueben Bain dream because he just went to Tampa.
Okay. I was going to say, is this the run? Is this the run that we were talking about?
It might be. Jets are on the clock. Now, they already took they're actually not even on the clock. Their pick's already in. We just don't know who it is yet. They already took their edge rusher. So we shall see, and then that puts the Lions on the clock next. So we are into the NFC North. Johnsy, any final thoughts here before we let you go?
I got to update you on Hallis Hall and the food situation. Our friend Patrick Norton brought oatmeal butterscotch cookies, baked them himself, and brought them to Hallis Hall. And he did so, fellas, with the approval of Dion Miller.
That's big.
That's big.
Like he asked for permission?
He asked for permission to bring his oatmeal butterscotch cookies that he baked himself to bring to Hallis Hall. Of course, Dion, as gracious as she is, she said yes, but we know she brings the best desserts to Hallis Hall.
The fact that he had the presence of mind to ask her for her, like,
how did he even know?
He sings, he bakes, he already has learned the ins and outs of the chemistry.
Ladies, if you're listening and watching,
you know,
Patrick Norton.
I mean, yeah, he does that too, but I mean, he baked cookies.
The cookies.
Yeah.
Dude sings a song too like nobody else. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Johnsy, thanks, buddy.
All right, see you, boys. Enjoy the draft.
All right, Adam Johns over at House Hall. Make sure you're locked in.
Don't ever
coverage.
show Carm anything, because then, like, he's like a squirrel, and if you show him something that's in the future, then he turns. It's like a one-track mind. Mm-hmm. You just never know where he's going to go.
Oh, is this where Kenyon Sadiq's going to go?
No, nobody stays present to the moment like Gregory. He's
well,
always.
And that's what I've been trying to tell the chat, because they've been getting frustrated. We understand Twitter is ahead of the game. I think I saw Peter Schrager had a great video about this, of how this has become like this big thing to like announce the pick before the picks happen. Like it's like you have some insider info, when reality is that they have a database, and when these things are put in, there's those people that need to know are updated before the public is. So it's not like you're trading insider secrets. This is stuff that is readily available for people within the NFL industry. So we're doing it old school here. We're following it along like the rest of you here on TV, like the rest of all of us here at Joe's on Weed Street.
Yeah, Joe's on Weed Street, yeah.
So if you want to follow it on Twitter, that's fine. But for those of you in the chat that are following it with us, we appreciate you, and we'll continue to roll things along.
Absolutely. And I just would like to once again shout out the NFL for – I am more impressed with what they've turned the NFL draft into than I am the Super Bowl. And I genuinely mean that. Because if you really think about it, the draft isn't even happening where all these people are in Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's happening in 32 draft rooms across the country and on computer screens. And yet all these people show up, and it started right here in Chicago. Like, I know they did the draft in New York those years, forever, but it was when they moved it to Chicago and they turned it into more of a fan event that it's become what it is now, which is kind of an absurd production that's completely unnecessary. But it's once again the NFL feeding the NFL beast. Now give us the Bears draft picks back.
Well, and while we're patiently waiting and the chat's wants to talk about the next pick, just a shout out to a couple people. I mean, look at Braggs' mom, Barb, just sitting in the front row. Just Barb has been Barb's been doing a great job.
Barb.
Let's go, Barb. Just having it the number one supporter of the program. We got Papa Hogue in the back, who's hanging out with the iceberg, having a whole moment back there. We got a Scott Steven, the king, is in the house. It's electric when you go in the crowd, Ruben.
It is.
You guys got to get out there.
It's always fun here at Joe's. I like being here for the games. I like being here for the draft. So the Jets are taking Kenyon Sadiq, and
we love that pick for the Bears. Take all the tight ends.
But I think
Absolutely.
But I think at some point you do what maybe they learned something from the Bears. The tight end wasn't necessarily among their top needs, but Kenyon Sadiq at this point at 16, some teams probably have him at the top of their board. They're probably saying this is the best player available. He's going to be an extremely good weapon, and they need players like that. I mean, the Jets need everything, including a quarterback.
Exactly.
But he'll help a lot there.
He will. And I think a tight end is every quarterback's best friend. Sadiq is a guy that's like a glorified wide receiver. You stretch him out, he is a nightmare matchup against linebackers, against safeties. Just his skill set of speed, his body size. I mean, I think he's going to be a good player for them. Hopefully they can figure out the quarterback position.
I just was like, to your point, Carm, about, hey, go ahead, take a tight end, right? Who wants Makai Lemon, right?
Right, go ahead.
Wide receiver, take him. Ty Simpson already came off the board. Yeah, that hurts you potentially for some team that might have traded up to 25 and given you a lot for a quarterback. But now what it is doing, it's becoming a clear numbers game that the Bears should fairly easily, knock on wood, get one of these players. We've been talking about like 15 players, right? I think there's still 12 of them that are available with 10 picks to go.
It's a good sign.
And that's a rough estimate math that I just pulled out there. But it's if you just look at it here from a number standpoint based on how many picks are left versus what the board is showing you, you still got the 2 safeties. You still got Mesidor, right? You still got Cassius Howell, right, if you're looking at edge. You still got D-tackle here if you're going to go that way. You know, I don't know if I would, but you got Caden McDonald and Peter Woods. So between O-line, edge, D-tackle, these guys are going to be there. Somebody is going to be there at 25 for the Bears to get.
Now, to be clear, because I've like I've been saying on the show the last few days, I have a yes, and then I have some that are like yes, but I'd rather trade back. So Xing out the guys that I said yes, but I'd rather trade back, I have 5 hard yeses that are still available. One that I'm willing to trade up for, and that's Monroe Freeling, who's still available. I think he's going to end up being the best tackle in this entire class. So we are running out of like the hard yes players, in my opinion. But Dillon Thieneman's one of them. Iheanachor is one of those guys.
Who do we think the Lions are taking? Does anybody know? I don't know.
Well, they might take a tackle.
Offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they could certainly. That's why I was talking so much about trading up. If you are going to trade up, not that I was advocating for that. In fact, I want the Bears to trade down potentially. But if you were, the idea of leapfrogging the Lions, which would cost you a little bit more, because of the idea that there's a good chance here the Lions are going to take one of your guys. An offensive lineman, an edge here, a safety. I mean, Thieneman could go in either of these next 2 picks. I mean, that's on the table.
Thieneman is going to be a damn Viking. We all know it.
Harrison Smith is
and then we finally got out of the Harrison Smith era.
We know he's
just going to bring another one in.
Yeah, he's a player, man.
All right,
I agree with you, Brad. I think he's going to the Vikings.
I need to shout out a couple donations here, big brothers and big sisters. Our guy, Huss.
Always active on draft night. Huss.
Where you at, Huss?
Came last year, or maybe 2 years ago.
Last
2 years. Huss taking a year off. That's okay, but he's still with us.
No, it's not okay.
Well,
it's okay, Huss.
He gave us a $50 donation. Big brothers, not us. He gave big brothers and big sisters a $50 donation. And Crystal, who's sitting right over there.
Crystal,
$20.
Let's go.
Crystal brought her A game out tonight. She showed up late as per usual, but she came in with a purpose. She's got a big smile on her face. She's got a friend with her. Don't mess with Crystal. It's always good to see Crystal. I missed Crystal.
All right.
Cats.
I hate to do this with the Lions on the clock, but we have to take our second timeout of this hour, so we're going to do that right here.
We are?
We are, because we don't know what the pick is yet. So let's spend the next couple minutes thanking some of our great sponsors here.
The draft is flying by.
I tried to tell you guys in our pre-show meeting, and Card's like, it's going to take 4.5 hours. I could do math on a calculator. I'm like, it's going to go fast.
Okay.
But first.
Here comes...
Hey guys, I'm about to tell you about the most incredible, unforgettable gift that you can get mom for Mother's Day. Have you heard of Goldbelly, guys? By now, I hope you have.
You know I have. You know I love it.
It is this amazing site that celebrates the best of America by shipping our country's most iconic foods from legendary restaurants straight to your door. And they will ship it anywhere across the country for free in time for Mother's Day. So whatever your mom likes. I mean, maybe she's originally from Chicago, doesn't live here anymore. I'm looking at it right here. You can go Chicago-style hot dog kit, Gino's East, some Stan's Donuts. There's a bunch of bakery items on here. Giordano's Pizza. All of those things are there for you. Since I live here in Chicago, I ordered outside, obviously, and I went with the famous Anchor Bar Buffalo Wings, straight from Buffalo. It was fantastic. So if you are looking for that perfect gift or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal the next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code BEARS. That's goldbelly.com, code BEARS, 20% off your first order.
Yeah, that's right. And shout out to Goldbelly and shout out to Shady Rays. Love my Shady Rays. Been rocking them here. Has been trying to break 80. I think this is going to be the year to break 80. But I've been saying that for 3 years.
I thought you were talking about the temperature.
Talking about the golf game.
Talking about my golf game because that's where I take my Shady Rays. And you should too. And here's the best part. If you accidentally lose your Shady Rays on the golf course or in the bleachers at Wrigley Field, Shady Rays has changed the game. They are going to give you replacements. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. They're polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. So go to ShadyRays.com and use code CHGOSR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Shout out Shady Rays. That would be...
All right, we have our friends from Game Day Men's Health with us.
Game day.
And they have a very nice sign.
Testosterone.
Let's go.
Vitamin supplements. The
exfoliation.
The hip exfoliation.
Can you help out
the
Greg?
shocker.
His arms are a little small.
Sorry. If you're a man,
give away the jersey.
If you're a man and you want to be in better health, you want to be going to Game Day Men's Health. You will get to the next level. Be a better husband. Be a better father. Be a better everything.
Carm, I'll give you the honors. We got to pull one of these names for the jersey.
Well, there's so many locations, by the way, for Game Day. There's one closest to you, and it's unbelievable. They're out here tonight and giving away a Jim McMahon jersey. Okay, the eyes are closed.
Watch, Carm's brother is
the winner is Mark Carmen. No, it is
Gonzalo
Ortega. Gonzalo Ortega. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Gonzalo, you can't see him, but he is already repping a Walter Payton jersey. So he can add another one.
Gonzalo. 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 Game Day Men's Health. Yeah, there we go.
That's awesome.
TRT and Jim McMahon, baby.
I'm telling you, Gonzalo's already healthier with Game Day Men's Health. It's unbelievable.
Let's go. Round of applause.
Gonzalo. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Gonzalo.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the night. And thank you, Game Day Men's Health, for being out here.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for what you do.
Ortega.
Yes,
all right. We do have a couple of NFC North picks here to discuss. I know everybody in the chat is very anxious about this.
Let's do this.
The Lions have taken Blake Miller.
Wow.
I love that pick for them. Love that pick for them, sadly.
Well,
you don't like him?
I didn't love him. I was a yes, but I wanted to trade back. I didn't completely love him. I think he's got a high floor. I will say that. Really durable. I mean, this guy played, this is like 48 straight games or something like that.
He set the Clemson record for career offensive snaps with 3,778. Been starting since he was a freshman.
The thing that's scary about this, though, is, you might love that pick because maybe you want a different offensive lineman. But here come the run on offensive linemen. It's going to happen before the Bears pick.
Yeah. We got a stunner at 18, though. So I'm happy Blake Miller came up because he's not the guy I wanted for the Bears at tackle. I think he's a right tackle only. He played 96.5% of his snaps at right tackle. The Lions can have him. He'll be a good player there. Like I said, he has a high floor. I don't,
they're moving Penny, maybe.
Well, we'll see what they do, but there's been a lot of talk about that.
He's been a Pro Bowl at right tackle for how long?
Yeah.
Like, to move him?
So they're essentially, I know, but so they're essentially getting a lot younger from Taylor Decker going to Blake Miller, and you know what? He'll probably be a lot like Taylor Decker.
I love the pick for Detroit.
It's a solid pick for Detroit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it. He wasn't my guy at tackle for the Bears. This Vikings pick, shout out Fran Duffy and Nate Tice because they were on Hogan Johns, and we tried to walk through the entire first round. And as soon as we got to the Vikings, and all this talk about Thieneman and safety, they called BS immediately. There is way too many people picking safety, picking Thieneman. They're going to do something different. We talked a lot about defensive tackle potentially being the pick for the Vikings.
Yep.
If it wasn't a safety, boy, I don't know. The doctors
must be.
I don't know if they did the surgery on Caleb Banks, but that's the pick. Caleb Banks, who I just did not think would go in the first round after he broke his foot yet again.
Yeah.
Look, I've said this a million times. Take the surgery out of, or the foot, the whole injury. I love this player. He's massive.
Yeah.
He's quick. He would have been, if there was no issues, I would have said he would have been a trade-up player for me.
No,
I would have said go up and get him, Bears.
Yeah.
But he already had a history of foot injuries. It was already a red flag. And then he broke it again before the combine. I just look at players like this, Woot, and you know better than me. Why would it just all of a sudden stop as he goes to a higher level?
Especially as big as he is, 6'6", 335. Incredible player, but with that history of foot injuries, I just don't understand it. But when he played, the production. We talked about Gervon Dexter coming from Florida. Not getting off the football. Caleb gets off the dang ball. The explosion, long arms, locking people out, the pass rush, athleticism. Everything checks the boxes. So if he recovers from this injury and he is 100%, he will be an absolute game breaker.
He only has, though, 10.5 tackles for loss in his career, 6.5 sacks. With like the numbers do not pop.
But if you look at his tape, I mean, he
Fair
pops
enough.
off.
I wrote down plays all over, big, violent, but he rarely gets to the quarterback. Like, he's around, but he's not actually there. And then his history, injured the left foot 2025 spring practice, wore a boot, fully snapped during fall camp, sat out the first 2 games of 25, comes back, re-aggravates the injury, needs surgery. Then he goes to the combine, and he fractures his 4th metatarsal in his left foot. I think the Vikings are crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it might just speak to, once again, when you're looking at that pick, or you're looking at Ty Simpson, or you're looking at some of these Jordyn Tyson early in the draft, I think it just speaks to, not
trying to hit
feeling
home runs,
great,
man.
right? Well, and not feeling great about other players. There isn't as many quote unquote sure things. So you're looking at a guy that in Caleb Banks that would have, could have, should have been a top 10 pick if things had gone right for him in his collegiate career, and now you're going to take a chance on it. I agree with you. I wouldn't have if I was the Vikings, but better them than us.
Akheem Mesidor looks like a damn sure thing for me.
Where?
If you're telling me
Just like a sure thing.
If I could have Caleb Banks or Akheem Mesidor, I would.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, sorry, my mind's already moving forward here. We got the Panthers. Their picking is I don't know what it is yet. I'm sure the chat does. But the Eagles have moved up from 23 to 20 in a trade with the Cowboys, which is crazy within the division. The Cowboys moving back to 23. The Eagles give up pick 114 and 137 to move up 3 spots. And we'll see what they're doing here. But we've got some movement going on ahead of the Bears. And I don't want to sound like an idiot right now because, again, I just don't know what the Panthers pick is. I don't know if the chat – do they have the Panthers pick?
I'm looking right now.
What?
Oh.
We don't know who 19 is yet? Can you tell me? Okay, so – Steven's over here holding out. My guy got drafted, and he's not telling me.
Well,
so the Panthers, the Panthers took my guy Monroe Freeling, and the Eagles are taking Makai Lemon with this pick to move up for a wide receiver, which we all know through various ways of reporting that A.J. Brown will likely be on the Patriots in the future. So they replace him with Makai Lemon.
Wow.
That's the Monroe Freeling. That's too bad because that guy's going to be a star too. I love Monroe Freeling. I love that Hogue was on him and watching him.
Carolina? That's boring.
So if that's
I would almost rather have him in the north so I could watch him more.
So if that's the case, then there's 4 picks between the Bears, but all 4 teams, in theory, could look at an offensive lineman. So
do the Bears get itchy right now and try and go get their safety, or do they wait to see if are they content?
Well, so part of the reason why I was asking for the Panthers pick was because that was a Dillon Thieneman destination. If the Vikings didn't take him, it was possible that he could be going to Carolina instead. And
these next 4,
you don't really see a safety needy team. I mean, the Eagles were one of those teams.
Yep.
Unless somebody trades up to 24.
Right.
Mesidor, Thieneman, Peter Woods, T.J. Parker, mcneil-Warren are all sitter. Lomu, some people like him. I don't, but I don't hate that one either, though. It's fine.
What do you hate about him?
Let me bring you up my lead.
I say things are falling the Bears.
I would say he's a really good pass protector, though. If we're talking about what we're looking for, Caleb Williams.
Let me read you.
Probably one of the better pass protectors.
Caleb Lomu?
Yeah. Like pure pass protector. Like run game, he's got some things he's got to work on, but I like that aspect of it. When you look at a left tackle, I'm not as worried about somebody that's not a road grader.
My concern about Lomu, is he just doesn't finish the same. I mean, he's 6'6". He needs more strength. But another one of these durable players, 24 straight starts, and I like him because he's a left tackle.
Correct.
He's not one of these guys you got to move. He's played left tackle.
Yeah, he's got good feet too.
I just wrote stiff at times, but can move. Could be used as a Ben Johnson weapon. They put him on. He could get creative with the Lomu. If it's Lomu, I'm not gonna say it's I wouldn't hate it. I would
go Iheanachor ahead of Lomu.
I like Iheanachor more too.
So
that guy's more sturdy and a pure athlete.
More development, I think, with Iheanachor and more of a risk than there is with Lomu. And right now, with Trapillo
I also
injury,
think there's a lot more upside, though.
I know,
Keldric Faulk is still out there, correct?
Correct.
That dude's tape pops off.
So, guys, I tweeted this morning.
Could end up with an edge.
I love him.
Essentially, my guy at the Bears' top 5 positions of need, right? So, offensive tackle, edge, safety, defensive tackle, and corner. And this was the order I would take these guys. So, Monroe Freeling was the top one.
Yep.
He's off the board. He just got drafted by Carolina. Mesidor was next. Still available. Edge out of Miami.
I like Mesidor.
Dillon Thieneman was after Mesidor. Safety. Peter Woods, defensive tackle, was next. And then Jeremiah McCoy. Now, that's totally dependent on the medicals. But if the Bears cleared the medicals on that one, and there's some doubt about that, we don't know how far he's going to fall. But remember, Will Johnson fell last year, and the Cardinals are loving that one, right? Jeremiah McCoy is like a top 10 corner if healthy. So that just kind of depends on the medicals. But all those 4 guys are still sitting there, and the Bears are, 5 picks away?
Yeah.
So I do agree it's been falling in a favorable way. However, I would say if Mesidor comes off here, Thieneman comes off here, Woods, and then maybe Iheanachor, I would be making phone calls trying to move back.
Yeah.
Because there's another cluster of like 10 dudes I'm willing to take if I trade back.
Yeah. And how do you guys feel if the Bears are like, hey, left tackle, we're not taking care of that this year. We're going to go with Braxton or Theo Benedict in the meantime.
It's what they did last year, and they got away with it.
They did.
But they did draft a tackle in the second
Correct.
round. And
you feel confident with him.
And don't forget, Ryan Poles was drafted an offensive tackle in every single one of his drafts so far.
True.
And I just feel now one was in the 5th round, Braxton Jones. I'm just saying at some point this weekend, I think he will draft another tackle.
Yeah, I got to think this pick has got to be on the defensive side and their tackle. I'm really thinking it's going to be that. Just because of the need in pass rush, when you look at their team, the only thing holding them back last year was the defensive line.
I'm getting excited about Faulk.
Braggs, who's your guy? You still on tackle?
I like Faulk. Yeah.
You want Lomu?
I mean, my big board, which at this point, world-renowned big board that I put out a couple weeks ago. I had Dillon Thieneman 1, Kadyn Proctor 2. So to me, if Thieneman's there, it's hard for me to come off of that. It really is.
I think he would be. The Bears would have a really good safety.
They want speed.
It would be fun to watch on that back end, man.
You wouldn't have to think about safety for the next 5 years.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
I'd be more than okay.
Yeah.
I don't fully love the idea that you spent the most free agent dollars on a safety and then you used the first-round draft capital on a safety. That's a lot to put into safety, but I do love safeties.
But think about what when you talk about a Dennis Allen defense, and you think about everybody's talking about the defensive line and what fits Dennis Allen, but what fits Dennis Allen from a safety secondary standpoint? Guys that have versatility. And when you've got Coby Bryant, Dillon Thieneman, and Kyler Gordon as your 3 guys that you can mix and match in so many different ways, like that would be explosive.
Emma's asking if you would like something to drink to settle in for this final little push here.
He's got his big board.
Oh, so he's got the big board. He's got the big board.
Carm, that's a guy that you got on your laptop right there. Faulk is very intriguing because you see him on the tape, and he literally played every position on the defensive line.
Yeah, I wrote
stand up, 1 technique, 0, 3, 5. He does it all.
That's what I wrote down. Tape pops up, closes fast all over the field, lines up all over, hard to push around. Does need more moves I put there. But the other thing behind the scenes that I think Brugler had this one, vocal team captain who speaks up and leads, donated part of his NIL earnings to assist a walk-on teammate. Like the Bears are always looking for character in that locker room. Maybe take a little more risk nowadays with Ben here, but still that would fit what they're doing here.
Well, you look at Poles too. He loves size.
Yep.
6'6", almost 280.
34-inch arms.
The guy from Mizzou, too young. He's an interesting prospect. I like him too.
So,
he's a little raw, but I think second round.
So Zion Young is a trade back candidate if you're going to go that route.
I think so.
I'm second round only on Zion.
Yeah.
I see too much Montez Sweat there. I think it's redundant.
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't want to use first round draft capital on him.
I think in the second round, if he's available and you didn't pick an end, I'd be okay with that.
He definitely fits the Dennis Allen ideal build of a 4-3 defensive end.
TJ Parker.
I think he has so much upside, though. I feel like he hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can be. He plays with so much effort, which you got to love from these guys.
I mean, Akheem Mesidor is wild.
All right, guys, real quick, let's take a look at Fran.
In a good way.
Let's take a look at Fran's big board. Now, he was huge on Keldric Faulk. He ended at number 2 overall and still available, so that's somebody we certainly got to keep in mind. Avion Terrell, the corner, he had 14th overall. Peter Woods, 15th. Talked a lot about him. I think he'd be a great pick at 25. Now, he's still high in Jeremiah McCoy. Again, that's the medicals. mcneil-warren at 20. Ioane came off. And then D'Angelo Pons. All right. So we got to take another timeout. That's the consensus here. All right.
All right. This is our last timeout before the big stuff happens here. So I'll allow this. I will allow this. And there is no timeouts. Of course, we're going to entertain you in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah. So we will update you on these picks as we get closer and closer to the Bears coming up here on the clock. But first, hey, this time of year in Chicago, you do not know what the weather's going to be. Your furnace might be running in the morning, and then your AC might be on a few hours later. That's
true.
What we're feeling right now. So get ready with Four Seasons. Never too late for that Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Never too early for the AC tune-up. Check it out. Schedule yours now, and you'll save $50. It's only $89.95. And every tune-up is backed by an industry-leading 1-year no-breakdown guarantee for peace of mind all year. And that is backed by your trusted local experts at Four Seasons. They'll cover your plumbing, your electrical emergencies. If your heating or cooling is not working, you know who to call. Four Seasons. Carm, this is your only opportunity to sing on this show.
Yeah.
For all the right reasons.
Call 866-4 Seasons.
Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
And a huge shout out to our friends at IDOT. They made it all possible for us to be here tonight. Way to go, IDOT. Thank you so much. They've been awesome. And they do want you to plan ahead, plan your life like you're thinking about the draft tonight. But
plan tonight.
For opening at Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Bears belong. Forget about all the stadium news. Just put that day. You want to plan a sober ride. If you go to a sporting event or a concert this summer before then, do the sober ride.
You know what? I bet you somebody in this audience right now is probably thinking, make the decision.
Get an Uber.
Just get that ride share and get home safely.
Yeah.
Do right by IDOT. They did right by us. Drive safe tonight. Get a sober ride.
Drive high. You get a DUI. You don't want that. Listen to our friends at IDOT. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive sober or get pulled over. And yes, again, listen, we want you back here next year. Take care of yourself.
I want you back here tomorrow.
We want you back here tomorrow, actually. Yeah. Very good point. If you feel different, you drive different, drive sober, or get pulled over. It's not a game. Shout out again to our friends at IDOT.
All right, got a lot to catch up on here as we got through that final timeout. Thank you to everybody who sponsored this draft show. It's been awesome. Hey, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're here for the first time because you found the stream and you just want to see what's going on here with the Bears pick that's coming up here quickly. Please hit that subscribe button. We do shows here every day, but especially Monday through Friday. And anytime there are big events and games, we are here for you on nights like this. We will be here tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, we'll have you covered because there is part of the draft on Saturday. Yes.
If there's any trades, we're breaking in. Subscribing is free. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much.
Which, speaking of possible trades, according to Over the Cap, the Bears, and thank you, somebody sent this to me, so I'll thank you, that person in a second.
Gary Ross sent it to me. Gary Ross, you're the man. He'll be here tomorrow night.
Gary well, sorry, Gary, because before that, as Carm now makes me, I got to shout out Richard Bridges, because you got scooped by Richard Bridges.
Richard Bridges. Good job by Bridges.
You sorry, Gary, you were slow.
No, I think I had it first.
Anyway.
Why your glasses look so weird?
I don't know what I'm doing.
The Bears restructured Jonah Jackson and Cole Kmet's contracts to gain $10.375 million in cap space. Why would they need to do that before the draft? Obviously, we knew they had to open up space to sign their draft class, but you don't necessarily have to do that, right before the draft. This gives them flexibility potentially if they want to trade for a player in the middle of the draft. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to, but it gives them the flexibility potentially to do it, because if they didn't, then they couldn't do a trade.
Adam Hogue just said the Bears are trading for Max Crosby here coming up in a few minutes.
They need a lot more space than that if they're doing that a lot. So, but thank you for sharing that with me. That is a little notable nugget. Also notable, Max Iheanachor.
Iheanachor, the king loves Iheanachor.
Is off the board. Number 21 overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is a Pittsburgh Steelers pick if I've ever seen one.
We're giving you a lot of love to Iheanachor here, and it feels good that we're right there with the Steelers, because you know what you like about this guy? It's called 0 sacks allowed, and he was dominant at the Senior Bowl, and he's an unbelievable athlete. I love his history too. Born and raised in Nigeria, immigrated to the States at 13. Cooper didn't play football. We talked about it earlier. Okay, fine. I'm not going to make it in the NBA. Let me go to junior college and see if I can play football. And now he's a first-round draft pick in the NFL. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's got sweet feet. That's what you love to see from the big fellas on the left side.
He carries the weight.
He does.
It's just incredible to watch how this is breaking down. A lot of fun. I'm enjoying the Bears picking at 25 or after.
You're not first.
It's a lot of fun. And the pressure's just not as high because, man, is this board just really falling. You still have both safeties that we've talked about ad nauseum for the last 2 months. Caleb Lomu, offensive lineman out of Utah, still there. I mean,
Peter Woods.
Yeah, Peter Woods. Caden McDonald. I mean, Akheem Mesidor. There's only a couple more picks here before the Bears.
We're getting someone, Gregory. We might even trade back.
Or it's a trade back, as you guys said. But it takes two to tango with a trade back. And, how many of these other teams are seeing this too? And who's going to get impatient to want to move up to 25? I mean, maybe for one of the safeties, if somebody says, hey, and the Bears are like, we'll move back, you can take Thieneman. Maybe if you get a...
Okay, we just lost Mesidor.
We just lost Mesidor.
Akheem Mesidor goes to the Chargers.
Okay.
At number 22, which means, guys, the Bears are 3 picks away, and I have basically two guys left that I am totally okay with them taking without trading back. And that is Peter Woods, the defensive tackle, who I think is a great fit, and Dillon Thieneman. Okay. If those two guys end up going here at 23 and 24, then I am definitely trying to trade back, because I could throw a dart at 15 names at that point that I'd be okay with if you trade back. But in my personal board, where you start to have those breaks, that's a break for me. Thieneman and Woods. And so now I'm nervous, and I would consider, if I was the GM in this situation, trading up one spot. Maybe just to make sure I get one of those two guys. What do you have to give up? Your 4th round pick to do so? Maybe you get a 6th back in return, or a 5th back or something like that. Yeah. Don't check the charts on that. I'm just throwing something out. But I don't know. What are you thinking here, Woot?
Yeah, I think for Woods, that's one of my guys. And then Faulk. I really like Faulk if he's available. I think the versatility, he stands off. He can play pretty much any position, and his effort and explosion. That's what I love.
The lack of twitchiness, though, is what's – but he's 6'6", he's 275. Yeah. The character's outstanding. He's only 20 years old. The upside is definitely there. He had the longest arms of any – where's your arm size, by the way?
So I was 34 and a half.
He's 34 and 3/8.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know that arm size because he's put you on that ground, Craig, and he's ready to do it again if you get out of line.
I don't want to do it in front of your mom.
Just saying, I took a fall. Just to kind of up your confidence. I know you've been out of the league for a while, and I just thought I would take a fall for you, and just to kind of build you back up as the friend that I am.
Oh, okay.
All right, hey, we got to do this real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, don't go anywhere because we're not going anywhere. This won't affect you at all. But if you are watching on one of our TV providers, we do have to take a quick timeout again. If you're watching on YouTube, stay right here. We're going to stay right here. If you're watching on one of our TV providers, we'll be right back in 2 minutes. All right, guys, 2 picks away. The Cowboys are at 20 on the clock at 23. Remember, they traded back. The Eagles traded up to go get Makai Lemon at 20. Max Iheanachor went next at 21. Akheem Mesidor at 22. So a couple of what I would call Bears guys, 21, 22, at least my Bears guys, off the board. And so the Cowboys now on the clock at 23. The Browns are also in the way of the Bears. That is the pick they got from Jacksonville last year in the Travis Hunter trade at 24. And then the Bears at 25.
Shout out to everybody, as the nerves settle in.
I am getting nervous, for sure.
Yeah.
A little nervous. I am.
Jaqueline just entered the building. Jaqueline is here sitting with Crystal as they're taking a shot over there. My amazing partner is here to calm me down. This is big. This is big. This is big.
2 of my 4 guys from my big board are still on the board.
Who are they?
Both safeties. Dillon Thieneman, number 1, and then number 3, mcneil-warren. But man, this is just crazy, man. It's really cool to see the way this is unfolded. And you know what? When you're good, luck finds its way to you more times than not. And when you're bad, the bad luck hits. We talked about the teams at the top that need quarterbacks, right? The Jets and the Cardinals, bad teams, right? Well, they had bad luck because there wasn't as many quarterbacks in this draft. The Bears got their quarterback figured out. Good luck was favoring them last year quite a bit. They picked 25th, and look at how things are falling for them in a draft that people were saying is down in terms of talent, and I love to see it.
Yeah, I kind of disagree because I feel like maybe the top 15, top 20 talent, but you look at from 20 to what we'll see in the second and third round, there's a lot of value, a lot of guys that'll be day 1 starters or big contributors in that second or third round.
Yep. I'm with you there.
Just to calm myself down one more time, I love the Mesidor pick for the Chargers. Little Khalil Mack in the back end here, and step in with the Mesidor. That guy's going to be a monster.
How scared do you think teams were of the fact he's 25 years old?
Well, and here's the other thing. I was wondering if he was starting to fall beyond that. He did have some foot issues too.
Correct.
And sometimes with some of these guys, when guys start to fall, I think that's what it was.
I think that's a good call by Hogue.
But he ended up not falling. I mean, he did a little bit, but he still went 22.
Right foot injury in 22. Tried to play through it in 23. Had to shut it down. Torn ligaments in his left foot.
Now, the reason why I wasn't too worried about it was not an issue the last 2 years.
Correct.
So unlike Caleb Banks, where it's continually a problem, Mesidor seemed to have put that behind him. He had the production. He has a great 6'3", 260. He can, as you detailed earlier, Woo, he can get after the passer. He also plays the run. To me, I would have been totally on fire. I do not care that he's 25 years old. Take him.
35 and a half sacks, I think, in his career, so the production is there. He got to learn from one of the greatest to ever do it, Jason Taylor, him and Rueben Bain.
So let's just imagine for just a second here, let's dream that both Keldric Faulk and Dillon Thieneman are there at 25. And let's just say hypothetically that what the Bears said is spot on, that they're going to take best player available. It will be very interesting to see how their board is aligned because they have a huge need at safety, but they also have a huge need of somebody who can get to the quarterback. So that'll be a fascinating decision.
Well, that's where, guys, we've had this discussion, I feel like, for months now, right? Like edge versus defensive tackle. You can still get after the quarterback at tackle. You can help your edge rushers by being a menace in there. And you also need to stop the run before you can even get after the quarterback. That's one of the reasons why I like Peter Woods. He's good against the run. Yes, Gregory.
Before the Bears pick, did we announce Craigulator from the chat here?
Yes.
$500 to Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
It's time for the Craigulator. It's time for the Craigulator. It's time for the Craigulator.
Guys, the pick is in at 23.
Oh, my goodness.
The Dallas Cowboys have taken an edge rusher. It is Malachi Lawrence.
Wow.
UCF, right?
Phil's guy. My guy Phil, he's going to be in shambles. That's who he wanted the Bears to take at 25. I laughed at him. as mock drafts had him going deep in the second round. And
He's
going
to laugh at you now.
Going 23.
Yeah, I love that pick for the Bears. 72 tackles in 39 games. Is that good? I don't think it is. Guy had shoulder surgery on both shoulders. I get no problem with a little Malachi Lawrence going out of the Bears.
Talent, though.
So now, Hogue, you're feeling good. One of your two guys is definitely there.
So Peter Woods.
Peter Woods is there. Dillon Thieneman's there.
The Browns have already taken Spencer Fano. They're not taking another O-lineman, right? They're not taking Caleb Lomu here.
I would prefer to trade down Lomu.
The Utah connection, double-double.
I mean, that would be crazy.
Right tackle, left tackle.
I mean, this is nuts. Is somebody going to trade up for one of these safeties here to try to get in front of the Bears? I mean, I'm going to put the computer down here.
The trade back Browns. The Bears do not need to trade up. There's too many options to just sit here.
So if Peter Woods is there, they got to take him home because I think the 3 technique is the engine that runs that defensive line. You create the matchups, right? So the 3 technique has that one-on-one. That's where Peter Woods can come in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Browns pick is in.
Oh.
And that means the Bears are going to be on the clock here.
Yeah.
Coming up, let's go.
And when the Bears being on the clock is presented by IDOT. As we go on the clock for the Chicago Bears. Now, we'll see what they do with it. It does not mean that the pick is in yet, so a trade could still be possible. We'll see if they're working it. They should know by now who the Browns have selected. We do not know who the Browns have selected. And let's go position by position, kind of who's available here. Defensive tackle, Peter Woods and Caden McDonald are both there. As it comes to the offensive tackles, for me, Caleb Lomu is really the only one left from that kind of crop of the run of offensive linemen that we thought maybe could go here. If we go to edge rusher, TJ Parker from Clemson is still there.
Let's go, Bears!
Let's go, Bears! Let's go, Bears!
On the clock, Keldric Faulk. I would say Keldric Faulk and TJ Parker are kind of the two there that are still sitting there that are continually talked about in the first round. And, Faulk, again, Fran Duffy, we've been talking to him for months. It's his number 2 guy in the entire draft. Yeah. Still sitting here with at least one pick away here. We don't know who the Browns have selected yet, but that's crazy.
On the clock, sponsored by IDOT. If you feel different, you drive different. It's not a game. You would feel a lot different with the Keldric Faulk, with the Dillon Thieneman. I think IDOT supports both of those picks, Hogue.
Well, Dillon Thieneman and Peter Woods are my 2 guys here.
What are your thoughts of Parker? Because I'm on the fence of him, especially after this last year.
On who? I'm sorry.
Parker.
Oh, TJ Parker, yeah. Good length. Motor's always running. He's got a great long arm move, which I'm sure you can appreciate, Woot. But the overall toolbox is a little limited. Like Woods, the numbers dipped in 2025. They both got to kind of answer that. I think you can kind of answer it based on the defense and the situation they were in with the team. I just look at him. I think he's a solid player overall. I just don't think he's really special at anything. So here in the first round, I'm looking for special. And that's why, for me, I'm okay if they take him, but I would rather trade back before I took it.
No, I agree. If they're going to pick any defensive lineman right now, I think it's got to be Woods. Got to get the 3 picks.
I would go Peter Woods, for sure.
Hey, Greg, who's left? Who will you do the Rome Odunze dance for?
I will be very excited for Dillon Thieneman.
Okay, so we'll get a dance on Thieneman?
Because I never thought he would fall to 25. I said that so many times in the last month. Every time we had this discussion, he's not going to be there. People are like, you don't know that. I'm like, I do know that. Well, clearly I don't know that because there's a very good chance, unless the Browns do something unexpected here, that he will be there. So, it would be very, very exciting if that was the pick.
So let's pick between those 2 right now. Or maybe we'll throw Keldric Faulk in there too. Yep. So Peter Woods, Dillon Thieneman, Keldric Faulk. Who's your guy?
Thieneman.
Woods.
Carm?
I think I'd go Faulk.
Okay, I'm gonna go Woods too. I'm always gonna side towards defensive line in those situations. I'm always gonna go trenches over some of those, kind of more what do you call them? Splashy.
Well, and you talk about positional value, right? And you can't argue. Offensive line, defensive line is higher in terms of positional value than safety. You've already allocated a lot of money into Coby Bryant at the safety position.
Well, be prepared to maybe be disappointed because Casey Concepcion has come off the board at number 24.
Thank you, Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns have taken a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Can we take 3 players here?
Well, maybe you listen to trades. I mean, the fact that you
phone's open for business, baby.
Again, we don't know what the Bears board looks like, but at least here we seem to have a consensus that Peter Woods and Dillon Thieneman are up there.
Well, and you want me to put this down? Is that what you want?
Pencils down, laptops down.
No,
the
can't do it.
Pencils down, laptops down.
No, we can't.
Pencils down.
I can't put my okay.
Pencils down, class. It is time for the Chicago Bears.
Here we
are
go.
on the clock.
It's time.
Who do you want? Who do you want?
I did predict that 1 or 2 of my guys would still be there at 25, and that's kind of where we're at. And in fact, I would throw Jeremiah McCoy in there too, because
all right.
If that's to me, I would say Jeremiah McCoy is would be the surprising pick here.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, the position we haven't talked about as much. I still think corner is a need, and I think if the medicals check out, you're potentially getting a top 10 player back at 25.
All right, Joe's on Weed Street. Here, I got a question for you. On the count of 3, yell who you want the Bears to pick. 1, 2, 3.
Great exercise.
Heard a lot of
good job.
words out there.
They just yelled 12 names.
Well, what'd you think they were going to do?
That's the fun of it.
There's a lot of
That's the beauty
woods.
of this pick, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's the beauty of picking in 25,
It's
I
like
guess.
when Braggs plays golf. Woods! Yeah, you boss.
Thieneman, Warren, Lomu, Parker, McDonald, Woods, Zion, Young.
Shut up. There's a Green Bay sucks chant going on.
Green. You got
respect the Green Bay sucks chant. You got to respect it.
Yeah.
Speaking
That
of
was
which,
well done.
and
My favorite night of the year that we do.
It's fun, isn't it?
ESPN's telecast is reporting that the pick is in.
Ooh.
So they're not trading. Yeah, the pick is in.
The pick is in for the Chicago Bears, and
That
we
doesn't mean
await.
that doesn't mean we're going to get it this second.
We await the announcement
Oh, my God.
from Roger Goodell.
Roger.
Don't do that. Give us our picks back, Roger.
That's true.
Yeah.
Answer
I say we
answer
just-
my question,
I say
Roger.
we just do an extra pick in the 3rd round. Don't listen to him.
Just take a guy.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I'll do it.
Just go up there and submit one to the
Have
league.
Jimbo Covert run up there. What's he gonna do?
Yeah,
Stop
no one's
him?
going to stop Jimbo. That's a good point. I think that's a fair point. So again, but can we look at Fran's big board here since the Bears are on the clock? Is that possible to do here so we can get an idea on Fran's board who is still available? We know that number 2, Keldric Faulk, that's his number 2 overall player. And then beyond that,
I'm gonna throw up.
You are?
I think you're going to like
I'm
it.
excited.
we've reached the point where Greg's just not listening to me at all. He's just thinking about Dillon Thieneman. So this isn't fully updated, but Keldric Faulk is still available there at number 2. TJ Parker at edge. Peter Woods is number 15. Like, there's a lot of good players. He's got a lot of players inside 25 that are still available, including Jeremiah McCoy. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, also an option if the Bears do go safety here.
Yeah, well, you know what, Fran? We want Thieneman.
I think you might perhaps get what you want.
Oh, man. What a moment for the Bears here. Letting the board fall to you. Let's just keep picking in the late 20s, 30s for the rest of our lives. Oh.
All right, you guys want it?
No, they don't. Okay.
You're watching us. We're the live show. Why do you want the TV to say it?
Well, we do have to respect everybody at Joe's on Weed Street.
They scream no.
They definitely scream no. So we'll wait. We can wait.
We can wait.
We can wait.
We've waited this long, right?
We've
ladies
waited
and
this
gentlemen?
long.
Let's go.
All right. You tell me when I can
Oh,
talk.
man. Let's go, Bears.
Let's get a Let's Go Bears.
Let's go, Bears. Let's go, Bears. Let's go, Bears. Let's go, Bears. What a moment. Oh, man.
I mean, we already tweeted it on CHGO Bears. But I'm not allowed to say
So
it.
many great things have happened for this organization.
Say it.
Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, Darnell Wright. I mean, the good just keeps on going with the Chicago Bears, and this is just going to be another special moment here, I feel like, for this franchise.
Exactly.
It's cool stuff, man.
No, it's a lot of fun. See what the Bears are building.
Yeah.
Because for so long, right? It was like, we're going home early.
How many times have things not gone our way? How many times have we been one pick short of greatness, right? Aaron Donald, one pick short of guys like that. I mean, the year that we drafted Shea McClellan, the next pick is Jones to New England. You know, it's never fallen the Bears' way. It feels like, whether on their own fault or just happenstance for the league.
All right. Well, I will tell you this, guys, because I've said this a couple times on the show, and there's one player that I know that the Bears did like that is still available here. I'm not sure how they feel totally about Peter Woods, but Dillon Thieneman is available, and I'm pretty sure the Bears have been high on him. He fits what they want. Like, he's interchangeable as a safety, and he's very fast. I think it's disrespectful that ESPN went to a break during the Bears pick, by the way.
Terrible job by ESPN.
But, have more respect for the Chicago Bears.
Hey, there's Timmy.
Timmy's on the
Timmy.
team.
Here runs our tailgate.
Tail greener.
Here we go.
Guys, with the 25th pick in the NFL draft, we can't carry Roger Goodell, so I have to talk over that. That's actually illegal for us. But Dillon Thieneman is the pick.
Dillon Thieneman! Welcome to the Bears!
Do your dance! Do your dance! Do your dance! Do your dance!
He's not on the screen anymore. All right, guys, Dillon Thieneman, who started his career at Purdue, transferred to Oregon. I think the moment, Carm, that he was cemented as a Chicago Bear was when he came on our show at the Combine.
There's no doubt.
If you really think about it, he sat down with CHGO Bears at the Combine. But we're talking about a guy that, with Coby Bryant, these guys are going to be very interchangeable. They're going to be fast. They're going to be flying all over the field, sideline to sideline. They can both come inside in the box. Both can run and play the deep, post spot as well. And he gets his hand out of the football, too, which I love.
Dude, he tackles. This guy's got 7+ tackles in 29 of his 39 starts. He's a guy that sees the play before it happens. That's what's the most exciting thing about him to me. This is an anticipator. He's got a great feel for the game. He's willing to put his body in front of you. And they needed it, too.
Exactly.
You can't. There's nothing to not like here.
Dillon Thieneman is a heat-seeking missile. The Bears wanted speed. They just got it in droves in Dillon Thieneman. Ooh. This dude is a star. And when he moved to Oregon, he showed he can play the safety position in multiple ways, as Hogue just said. Now you have Coby Bryant. Now you have Dillon Thieneman. Now you have Kyler Gordon flying all over the football. And when you have Dennis Allen and this defense, you have an opportunity to disguise things and use them in different ways and show different looks to offenses that are really going to confuse them. This was a tremendous pick, and the fact that Dillon Thieneman fell to 25, once again, the good luck continues to roll for Chicago. For the first time in my lifetime, the Bears do not have to think about the safety position for the next 5 years, and that has been something they have been chasing for decades.
Yeah, this guy is a stud. Obviously, being a defensive end, defensive tackle, I wanted to see that position. But I am so on board with this pick just because of the versatility, like you said, Hogue. The athleticism, can play in the box, has great range, can do it all. So you're locking up that safety position. But there's so much value available in the second round when we look at defensive end and defensive tackle. Still all the picks there. So I think there's going to be great value for guys that can really contribute on the defensive line in that second round.
Oh, and never mind the fact he's a Boiler. Come on now.
Where did he get drafted from?
From Oregon.
And he's got great ball skills, man. I know you guys have mentioned it, but he really does, man.
Yeah.
He tracks the ball well, but he catches the ball too, man.
Exactly.
He'll come down with it. The Bears just got a guy, man.
You're
and
fired
to put
up.
him next to Coby, I mean, this is.
Are you getting his jersey?
Dillon
I think so, right?
And hey, shout out to Dillon Thieneman. A little side note for our program. He was the one guy that came over to the other side during the combine to have an exclusive interview was with us at CHGO Bears. You can check that out right now if you go or after the show to check it out. But the thing that I'll say for it was he spent an hour and a half doing the car wash of big media outlet interviews, one after the other, completely exhausted, has to go do medicals. And the medical team were like, they have like PR people trying to pull him away. And he was like, no, I told this guy that we're going to do an interview with him.
Awesome.
So they can wait. I'm going to do the interview first. And that was after an hour and a half of just exhaustion of interviews. So it's a little thing, but it spoke to his character. He did not have to do that. And you can even tell in the interview he's tired. But all the credit to him. I can't wait to see him at training camp here in a couple months, man. It's awesome that he's here.
So let me just not even play the devil's advocate, but just ask the question. And I'm obviously not anything against Dillon Thieneman, and the pick makes a ton of sense for the Bears. But is there any part of either of you, especially you, Woot, who played on the defensive line, knowing that the Bears have massive needs there, and there were significant guys sitting there that you could have addressed and then gotten your safety later? Does anybody look at that and think, I love the pick, but I almost would have rather had a defensive lineman?
Go ahead, Woot.
I was going to say, for Thieneman, I think he's that type of player that's a once-in-a-while type of player. I think he's going to be a great player in this league. I think he could be a Pro Bowl caliber player and paired up back there in that secondary. But there is a part of me that's like, man, Woods was there, right? Faulk was there. There's a couple guys but I think there's a lot of valuable guys, like I said, in the second round that I'm okay with it.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, the way it went for me this morning when I put out my tweet, it was Monroe Freeling while he came off the board. Then it was Akheem Mesidor, and he came off the board. I did have Dillon Thieneman ahead of Peter Woods.
Okay.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that, that I would have wanted Woods ahead of him. I did have Thieneman higher. You stick to your board, you go with that. To your question, though, I think it's a completely fair and good question because the Bears need help up front. Yeah. And they have not used high draft capital.
The highest drafted guy on the line still remains Gervon Dexter, number 53.
Now, I imagine they're still going to address it. And, right now, and I haven't checked in the last couple of picks, but could Peter Woods and Caden McDonald fall and maybe you end up doing a trade-up situation? I mean, who knows? There's still some possibilities there to get a defensive tackle, but it's going to be in the second round now. So, I would go Thieneman. I like the pick a lot, and I know the Bears were high on him too. And I think when you look at the speed that they've added on the defense route, I'm just really excited about it. I mean, Devin Bush is faster. Coby Bryant is faster. And Dillon Thieneman is faster. And they cover a lot of ground, and they have instincts, and they know how to find the football. And I just felt like too much last season, late in the year. I guess the counterpoint to, okay, have they really addressed the defensive line the way everybody wants? No, they haven't. But that secondary is going to be even stronger and better, and most importantly to me, faster.
Exactly. And when you look at the second round, there's still going to be a lot of guys available, pass rushers. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma, undersized guy, but as a pass rusher, he is one of the most explosive guys off the ball when you talk about the value there. Cassius Howell from Texas A&M reminds me of a little bit of a Von Miller type. So if you're looking for pure pass rushers at that. So there's a lot of guys that you could potentially look at. Gabe Ukes from Illinois as well. I mean, he's a guy that's super explosive that's probably going to be available in the second round. So I think there's a lot of guys you can. But I just don't want them to leave this draft without addressing those two positions, 3 technique and end. So I'm hoping they can figure that out.
You want to announce the Texans pick, Hogue?
Sure.
Yeah.
Keylan Rutledge.
Keylan Rutledge, the guard from Georgia Tech, in 26, so the Dolphins are on the clock here. Look, one of my guys texted me about Thieneman loving it. Very smart, very fast, gets turnovers, way better safety option than Brisker. Tell the Vikings thank you. I think a lot of Bears fans are echoing those sentiments.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point to bring up. I mean, a lot of people thought that Thieneman was going to be in Minnesota, and instead they took Caleb Banks.
That feels great. I think the Lions had a great pick getting the offensive lineman Blake Miller. But Minnesota, I don't like their draft.
But there was a world in which Caleb Williams was going to be throwing the ball Dillon Thieneman's general vicinity at times.
That's true. That's true.
And he could have been torturing the Bears. And you know what? If Caleb Banks stays healthy and he gets over those foot issues, he's going to be a problem. He's going to have to be somebody that the Bears have to block. But the fact that the Vikings did not take Thieneman and he ends up falling in the Bears, now he gets to be the one intercepting, all of Kyler Murray's passes this year. As our guy Lance Briggs and Jerry Zuma sit back down with us to react to the Bears pick at number 25. Sorry, Lance.
Those are my notes.
They did not go line. But what do you think about Dillon Thieneman
right now?
He's the number two. He's the number 2 safety. You can't pass that up.
Yeah.
You can't pass that up. I think it was the right pick. I have plenty of thoughts on.
You know it was the right pick?
I have plenty of thoughts on it, but I want to hear your thoughts first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. I understand the need for the defensive line. I get that. We gotta put pressure on the quarterback.
But you're a DB.
Right. But I got to set this thing up. I understand the need for it. But the safety that we just got, rangy. He can play. I really do. I really do. Look, you see the shades.
Uh-huh.
You see my shades, just like Dillon. Look, he can play in the secondary. He can play deep. He can also get into the box and make plays. He also has the speed, which the defensive coordinator loves. He loves the speed. So he is checking all the boxes. And we also need another safety to match up with Coby. I feel like our secondary right now is extremely good. Like, that might be one of the strengths of the defense right now is our safeties, is our secondary. Okay. I think the guys that we have on the defensive line right now, they need to come on. We need to see more action, more involvement from them. They got to stay healthy, obviously, but they have to figure out how to be productive in this scheme. And I think that they can do that. But you can't pass up on this safety, baby.
Dillon, I hear you. I want to know how disappointed Braggs is right now.
Oh, he's very disappointed. I'm not even looking at him anymore.
He wanted another opposite tackle.
Of course he did.
I wanted
Of course he did. He wanted to be greedy. Hey, it's all about the defense right now.
Right.
And they have to address the defense.
Time
did a fantastic
job. I wanted the Bears to take 3 players here. So they took one of the 3.
Oh, Lord.
You didn't even say anything about safety.
This is not a Taco Bell
order. You haven't said anything about a safety.
I'll take one of the 3.
Let me ask you guys this. One of my favorite players of all time, Chicago Bears, Mike Brown.
Oh.
What? I thought it was somebody else, but go ahead.
I mean, he was, though.
Other players.
But he was. He really was. But he also respectfully was like the one that, it was woulda, coulda, shoulda because of the injuries that he sustained.
Right.
And had he stayed healthy, maybe you guys win a Super Bowl, maybe not. But all I know is he just always felt like the missing piece. Every year we'd go to camp and say, man, if he stays healthy, this is going to be different. What does having a safety like that? Because I feel like even though they're not the exact, I'm not trying to compare Dillon Thieneman to Mike Brown, but when I talk about heat-seeking missile, and that's what Dillon Thieneman is, that's how Mike Brown played at times. So I'm just curious from your guys' perspective, when he came into that room, how that changed your defense and the way you guys were able to play the game.
Well, when you talk about level of difficulty for positions, safety is not one of the highest positions. However, what a safety does is safety covers so much ground.
Mm-hmm.
You cover so much ground that a great safety, let's say the best, Ed Reed, how Ed Reed was able to affect the game is huge. Mm-hmm. Because you cover so much ground, because you're able to see so much. Mm-hmm. And if you understand it, let's say, I always say I'm not a numbers guy, but he is fast and he plays fast. He's physical, he's smart. So smart safety is a field general. And a field general knows where he needs to be. And if he can put himself in position where he needs to be, let's say 70% of the time, 65% of the time, we have a guy that is going to help us change games.
Yeah,
How
and
many
you
times?
and you pair him also with Coby Bryant.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, Coby is a genius in himself. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, Super Bowl champion. Like, he can go out there and make a lot of plays. So I think the vibe right now with the safeties is going to be really good.
Yep.
You got rangy safeties. You got safeties that can play deep. You also got guys that can come up and hit and knock your block off.
Yep.
Like, that's what they do.
Yep.
And that's what you need. You need a person that's very rangy and very quick, very fast in this defense.
Yep.
And that's what the defensive coordinator wants.
That's
He
what
wants
Dennis
the-
Allen
he
wants.
wants the speed.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about the back end of that though?
Go ahead.
The downside. The downside to that is this. Over the last, let's say, 5 years, the Bears have had a top 5 defensive backfield. They underperformed last year. Way underperformed last year. But the problem with our defensive backfield is they get exposed because we
Speed
don't
pass
get
rush.
to the pass rush.
Right.
We don't get to the quarterback.
You're right.
So we can have the best defensive backfield, and I think we've had that for a few years now. But because we can't get to the quarterback, we get exposed, and it's unfair to them.
I agree.
I just don't know if one person is going to change all of that. I just think that they have a stable of guys right now that are coming into the offseason that they are relying on to come on. Like, these guys need to come on. You know what I'm saying? So in order for them to come on, they got to be into it.
Well,
and I think that they will be into it.
Oh, they're going to be good.
And the
defensive
draft, but the
backfield's gonna be
draft
good.
isn't over, right? And now they can address
Yeah, we
defensive
got-
line here coming up.
We can trade up to get a player. They have leverage. They have leverage, whether it falls there or doesn't. But there's
Right
something
now,
there.
they picked the right guy. They picked the right guy for the defense. We have 2 picks in the second round, 57 and 60. So I think that we could do something
That's
there
the back
on the
end of the
defensive
second
line.
round.
Right.
Now that's the back
But
end.
we
of the
can
second
also
round.
move up if we identify someone and go get them.
I
That's
will say
almost
this,
third round.
it is super interesting that they did not take Keldric Faulk because that dude is 6'6", and he has the longest arms of any of the edges. Now, he was not a favorite of mine.
Yeah, mine either.
But my because
Neither were
to
the
me,
Bears.
but my point is because I didn't love him because he lacks twitch, and I really feel like that's what they need. I feel like they need a twitchy guy.
Yeah.
But all this talk about Dennis Allen defensive ends, I'm not sure there was like a more prototypical one staring them in the face at 25, and they didn't take him. I just find that interesting.
Well, if you look at here's one of my issues with Keldric Faulk. You know, when you look at his highlights or the highlights that they chose to put up for him, they were all against Troy or Utah State. It was all against, to me, non-competitive teams.
And they had to search for him because he only had 2 sacks last year.
Right.
So
It's not I'm glad that they didn't go that route, and listen, I'm happy with the safety. I'm happy with the safety that we picked.
Yeah.
Because he was the number 2 safety in all of the draft.
Let me ask you this, because this was something that stood out to me a few months ago. Mike Macdonald was talking about what unlocked the Seahawks to becoming this Super Bowl champion level defense.
Pete Carroll.
And he said, and I quote from Mike Macdonald, if you can defend the run in split safety, that's some high-powered stuff. Can you explain to me what that means?
All right. You realize what they called our defense, right?
Yeah, cover 2. Tampa 2.
It's essentially what it is.
Because if you can defend the run in a 7-man front, so we go by 7-man front, 8-man front. All right. So if you can defend the run in a 7-man front, then you can be, because you're against the pass, you're better equipped for the pass because you have more defenders in the pass. But if you can defend the run in a 7-man front, then you can be dominant. So a lot of times when you find teams that are running a lot of cover 2, but teams still can't run on them, we're safe in the pass, but we can still defend the run. So a lot of times when we would do our practices, we go into our inside run, we wouldn't do 8-man front because 8-man front, our rule is 8-man front, you cannot run the ball.
Right.
If somebody's able to run the ball, somebody made a mistake. But if you don't mentally go into it like that, then I think you're at a loss defensively. You have to say, in the 8-man front, you cannot run the ball. So all of our inside run was always 7-man front. Because 7-man front's the only way that a team is going to think, as soon as they see too high, we're going to run the ball.
Right.
And if we can stop them in this, work great against the pass, we should be dominant.
And that's where speed comes in also.
Yes.
You got to be quick to the ball.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys, like I said before, that are fast, but they just have slow eyes, which makes them slow.
Yeah.
But you want to have guys that can react and anticipate right now. And that's what Allen wants. He wants those type of players that also have speed on top of that. Dillon is probably going to be one of the fastest guys on the football field, just flat out speed. But he also plays with great eyes and great instincts, which makes him even faster.
Well, talk about that, because so much of this offseason polls, Ben Johnson, they talked to Dennis Allen, they talked about bringing speed to this defense.
Yeah.
And you guys talked about this a few times during the season on Brick by Brick to maybe refresh some of our new viewers. And shout out to everybody here tuned in. If this is your first time, this is what it's all about. But you guys talked about that transition when Lovey came in and was like, hey, we are going to be speed. And this is how we are going to change our style of play and the personnel we bring in and how we practice. To me, that's kind of reminiscent of what's happening here now.
Yeah. You know, here's the deal. You know, when you ask a D-tackle, all right, you ask a nose, you ask a three technique. If you're in a 3-4, the 2 4s and the 0, who loves to be double teamed? All right, they're all going to say,
"Whoa."
Well, they're going to say pause, and then they're going to say no, and then they're going to say no. Okay.
Woo!
But I
was sweating.
In a 7-man front. In a 7-man front, D tackles have to hold double teams longer.
Yes,
and
do.
That, you know, for lack of a better word, is a bitch. You know, and it's hard. It's really difficult for them. So the sooner you can get them off of the double team, the linebacker get them off the double team, the sooner that they can make a play. But it's frustrating for them because when they know we're in the 7-man front, these guys don't have to come off right now. In the 8-man front, somebody's got to come off to get to the second level. Okay? So, you know, go ahead.
I also trust Allen, and I trust his schemes. He's going to have to be creative up front. We know that that's probably the weakness of the defense is up front. So it's going to be up to him to be creative, to get guys in great situations, one-on-one situations, different stunts, different techniques to get to the quarterback. I think that's going to be very important. But speed is what he wants because speed, as we all know, it kills matchups. You know what I'm saying? If you have a guy that's just faster than another guy, like, boom, he can just take off and make the play. So Allen is getting those guys. And the safety that they just brought in, he has a lot of speed to make a lot of plays.
Love him,
He's going to be great.
He does.
He's going to be slightly better than Conti.
You know, and we all know the.
I love you, Chris Conti, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Maybe let's not bring up that name, though, like right after the Bears
Stop
draft
it.
one in the first round, you know?
From potentially, historically, the same conference.
Oh, my
by the way,
goodness.
it'll be interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs just took Peter Woods, number 29 overall, so he's going to go play for Kansas City.
Pair him up with the other guy. It's going to be a bitch.
And Briggsy, they took a Boiler. They didn't take a Wildcat. Go ahead, Hogue. I'm sorry.
Well, it's all about the Final Four, baby. Some get there, some can't.
What I was going to say, though, is, you know, regardless of the situation up front, which remains a concern,
right.
The one takeaway I did have from last season and watching Dennis Allen coach those guys up was it was fun to see how he mixed and matched what he had each and every week in the defensive backfield. Because it was – you didn't know what you had some of those weeks. You know, and they ended up bringing in C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the middle of the year, and some guys were healthy one week and then not the next. And he always seemed to have some type of solution to the point that they led the league in takeaways when it was all said and done.
Exactly.
Now, it's going to be still hard to repeat that, obviously, but you start to add Coby Bryant and Dillon Thieneman, younger, faster, rangier players who also, to your point, Zoom, especially I would say, look at Thieneman's tape. I mean, he has the instincts where he seems to see things, too, really, really well. I just can't wait to see how Dennis Allen deploys all that because it's not going to be enough to cover up a lack of pass rush, but it's still going to probably confuse a lot of quarterbacks.
On the back end of last year, you know, although we were complaining about it, you know, on a weekly basis, the Bears were starting to get to the quarterback.
They were.
Consistently. whether it was drawn up from a blitz or it was coming from the front four.
And Booker got better, man. I watched some of his end-of-season tape just a couple weeks ago, and it was turning me on enough that I was like, I don't know if they're going to go edge early because they might just love what Booker did so much that they might feel comfortable.
You're exactly right. I think that is exactly what happened. I think that they trust the guys that they brought in from last year. It wasn't the prettiest year last year. We understand that. And we understand that we have to get better. But I think that trust is there this year. I think that they're going to look at these guys and be like, look, I think that we're going to be okay defensively on the line. Let's make sure that we don't pass up anybody that can really make a tremendous impact into our secondary.
Well, I can tell you right now, until he proves it, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need 55 back.
Oh my God!
He's gonna have to have a good first 4 games. I'll give 55 back to you, but right now I'm gonna need it back right now.
I like that. Earn your number.
Earn that number back now.
Isn't there? I think the Raiders are doing where you got to earn your helmet decal now in practice. they had blank helmets. Now that's some college stuff. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I like your solution. Yeah, earn your. Maybe give him one of the 5s, but not the other 5.
He could be a 5, a half.
Just
5.
give him a 5.
Yeah.
Just give him 1 nickel.
All right, we have ALLCITY's draft expert, Fran Duffy, standing by, so we're going to go ahead and shift to that, guys. It's always awesome having you here. Appreciate you being here. The draft insight was awesome. They got your safety Zoom.
Yes.
Let's go.
Safety.
I appreciate it. So
safety, just like I told you. Just like I told you.
Now, I am excited to talk to Fran here because he did not have Dillon Thieneman as his best available safety. That was Emmanuel mcneil-Warren. So I have a feeling, though. Well, Fran, just give us your overall reaction to what the Bears ended up doing.
No, I like the pick. I had EMW slightly ahead, but I think when you're looking at Dillon Thieneman, this is a guy that I thought would be an impactful starting safety, a guy I had a top 30 grade on in this class. He is a player that I think can do a lot of different things defensively, and he showed that at the college level. This is a guy that literally did everything you could ask a safety to do in college. He could play deep in the post, make plays on the football. He could play down close to the line of scrimmage and finish as a tackler and navigate through traffic, play through contact, and finish in the run game. He showed the ability to match up in the slot and be confident doing that. I do think that he is more of a deep player in the NFL. I think he is a top-down safety. I like the angles. I love the instincts. I love the ball skills. I love the competitiveness. So to me, when I see Thieneman, I see a high-end, top-down safety, a guy that's going to play from depth in Dennis Allen's defense, and a guy that's going to be really, really good in that role.
Fran, great work taking us to this point. We love you. We appreciate it.
By the way, we got a shout-out. He's all suited up.
He looks amazing.
He looks fantastic.
He's
suited and booted.
He's fantastic. He's Fran delicious. He's Fran eloquent. Fran, would you have taken Keldric Faulk over Dillon Thieneman if you were the Bears?
I would have, yeah. But it's look, at the end of the day, I knew that there were a lot of teams in the league that did like Keldric Faulk, but maybe like the other players a little bit more. I thought there was a possibility that he could still be on the board at this point in the draft. So not completely shocked by where we're at, but we'll see 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked to Dillon Thieneman at the Combine, Fran, he said the big turning point for him was his game week preparation, and he really broke it down to a nuanced level how each day he would get different cut-ups to have him ready for game day on Saturday. From what you watched over the last few years with Dillon Thieneman, from at Purdue, racking up all these tackles, making plays, then going to Oregon, playing a little bit different style, what did you see on tape that showed you that this guy was preparing at a much higher level that warranted a first-round pick selection?
It's just very rare to see a guy come in and play as a true freshman. And this was something that you saw with Caleb Downs, doing it at Alabama for Nick Saban, playing as a true freshman, right? And it's the same thing here with Thieneman. Obviously a different level of competition, but that's how he first popped on the radar for me, guys, is that he was an All-American, like a second-team All-American as a true freshman at Purdue. It's like, all right, like, I got to get this guy on the list. I'm going to be watching him in a couple of years. And sure enough, I watched him the following summer, this past summer, after he transfers to Oregon. And again, you saw the usage in all these different ways. And even like reading interviews and kind of diving into some of the background on him, seeing like the wherewithal, understanding where his weaknesses were. It was one of the things that led him to Oregon. Was I knew that they were going to put me in position to succeed. I was going to get next level coaching from Dan Lanning and that defensive staff, understanding the areas where he had some shortcomings. And I thought you saw them get better this year. His tackling, I thought, was better this year. His ability to hold up and play through contact at a higher rate. And so, to me, with Dillon Thieneman, I got no huge questions about him sticking in the NFL as a starter. Is he going to be, Buda Baker, like one of the best safeties in football, like a high-end, like perennial all-pro? I don't know if he'll quite get there, but I do feel good that this guy's going to be like a multi-Pro Bowler, a guy that you're going to feel really good about starting on the back end and delivering impact play on your defense on a weekly basis.
So, Fran, to hit you with another question here in terms of his evaluation, one of the things that I love about your draft guide as you update it is the word on the street segment that you put in for each player, where you talk to different coaches, different scouts, different pro scouts, and get opinions on the player or teammates or people that played against him. And I'm seeing a lot of these scouts or different people question how good of a tackler he can be, but yet he had basically 100 tackles every year the last 3 years. So explain that to me, how he still has work to do from a tackling aspect, but yet was able to rack up so many tackles in his career.
Yeah, I mean, there were going to be some misses, especially when you go through that sophomore film at Purdue, the second year, where he, especially the first half of the season, I want to say he missed like 5 or 6 tackles in those early games, right? And so I think when you go back, you say, all right, like there were some issues there that popped up, and then those improved in the second half of the year, and then they improved again in his junior season at Oregon. And so just getting better in some of the shortcomings of his game, I think that's really big time. You will love to see that from a young player. This is a guy that, his 2 older brothers both walked on at Purdue, and he followed them and did everything that they did, and it was tagging along with big brothers constantly. And he's the one who earned the scholarship to Purdue. Again, became a freshman starter, was an All-American as a freshman, then took it to the next level, was all Big Ten, and was a really productive player all 3 years. Stuffed the stat sheet in every way imaginable, did all the different things you could ask a safety to do. So I really love what I've seen from Dillon Thieneman over the course of his time in college football.
So, Fran, if you were going to look at the Bears safeties from last year, Byard and Brisker, and put them like at a 5, and now you look at Bryant and Thieneman, how much better on a scale of 1 to 10 do you think they are? I mean, do you go down from 5? Or are the Bears worse? I'm assuming you're going to say they're better. Are they a 6? Are they a 7? Are they a 10 better? How would you grade that?
Yeah, I would say, the upside is very, very high, right? Like when you look at Coby Bryant and his skill set, as a former corner, that ability to match up with his length and his physicality, there's a lot to like there. And then with Thieneman, his smarts and his toughness, his competitiveness, and his versatility, it has the makings to be one of the better young safety tandems in all of football. And so to me, the ceiling could be that this could be like a 9 or a 10. But when you have a rookie safety, like there's going to be some bumps along the road, right? So I think it's fair to say that I wouldn't put that level of expectation on it right away for 2026. But by next year, by the year after, by his second year, we should be talking about this safety group in that way.
Fran, what surprised you the most in the first round? And by the way, your guy Keldric Faulk just went to the Titans at 31, which I'm sure you know, but we're updating.
Oh, man. All right, so that's perfect because in that defense with Robert Saleh, it is going to be full system go, get upfield and go. And that's the opposite of what he was at Auburn. So we're really going to get a chance to see what that upside looks like with Keldric Faulk. Biggest surprise, Ty Simpson at 13 has got to be the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
Blake Miller going 17, but yeah, Ty Simpson at 13, that shocked a lot of people.
What about Carnell Tate at 4?
Yeah, that was one. I was going through. I put out the consensus mock draft, the final consensus mock draft. Right, I canvassed 75 mocks from the top experts and reporters over the course of draft season. The last time we saw from that sample, Carnell Tate going to the Titans at number 4 was January 30th. So congrats to Tennessee for keeping a lid on that. There was a lot of words that it was going to be a weapon for Cam Ward, and it was like, oh well, all right, it's going to be Jeremiyah Love. They went wide receiver, so yeah, that would certainly be up there as a big surprise as well.
I'll throw 2 more at you. One, the Vikings going Banks at 18, and then Fano to the Browns at 9. Did you quibble with either of those?
No, Fano, to me, Spencer Fano falling to there, that made sense. He'd been connected to the Browns throughout the process, so that one was not a shock. But Caleb Banks, that was another big one because you honestly hadn't seen the first-round buzz on him all died out because of the foot injury, and that's obviously a huge swing for Minnesota, and that could go. I mean, we know the range of outcome there. It could go bad in that way.
So, Fran,
but I just want to point out, they got an interim GM, so maybe a what the hell do you have to lose type of pick. Kind of a weird situation.
So, Fran, forgive me if this was already asked. Just wanted to get your thoughts on now that you've seen the way the first round is shook out. Like, how does this look in a Bears lens going into tomorrow and we get into rounds 2 and 3? What position groups are kind of being favored right now in terms of quality depth that you could still get after?
I honestly, Braggs, I'm going to kind of download everything, and I'm going to be going through it. I'm going to put together at least a second-round mock, but maybe a full two-round mock that'll be up for all of our diehards tomorrow morning. But I want an answer right now. I know. I'm thinking in terms of the front seven guys. The TJ Parker's still there. I think you get into Gabe Akis, you get into Dennis Sutton. A lot of these guys that we've talked about as possibilities for the Bears, those guys are still on the board. So I think that would be the first area I would look.
Are you thinking about trading up to secure one of those defensive linemen?
I think the depth at that spot is good enough. If Keldric Faulk would have been the guy I would have traded up for, and obviously he is gone now at this point, so I think I'm okay waiting. Maybe you let the board play out. Maybe you have a short jump up, but I think let the board play out a little bit.
All right, final question. Who did Dillon Thieneman go to high school with?
I got nothing. What do you got for me?
That would be Braden Smith, all-time college assist leader in NCAA basketball history. Purdue legends, Dillon Thieneman and Braden Smith. It all comes together here tonight. Glorious night for the Bears and the Boilers.
Congrats, Braggs.
Just all of a sudden he's claiming him as a Boiler.
Yeah,
one day, Fran,
Fran, he's a Notre Dame fan. He's an exhausting human being, is what he is. You, on the other hand, are amazing. Thanks for being here, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yep, Fran Duffy, our guy.
Could you imagine going to high school with Dillon Thieneman and Braden Smith?
Could you imagine going to high school with Greg Braggs?
Oh, man. And Jenny, she doesn't have to imagine it. She went to high school and she married me. So just think, if you had gone to high school with me, you might have married me.
That was weird.
He goes, that was weird.
She went to high school with me and she married me.
The only person in this room that went to high school with me married me.
There still needs to be an investigation on that. What exactly is going on there? All right.
Is it over?
Not quite. If you're watching on one of our TV providers, we got to take a quick time out. If you're on YouTube, don't worry, we're not going anywhere, but we do have to take a quick time out if you're watching on one of our fast channels. So stand by. We'll be back in 2 minutes. For everyone else watching here on YouTube, we are not leaving. We got a few more thoughts here as we look ahead to night number 2. Is that Seahawks pick came in? Oh!
Yep. Jadarian Price, the Notre Dame running back.
Gregory.
Wow.
You're back.
And now this is where I take my Purdue hat off and put my Notre Dame hat back on.
One of these drafts, we should
just
have
get
all
different hats.
You'll basically be like a kid committing to a
You
college.
know, you guys can do the same thing, okay?
No. You know, like recruits where they pick like the school, they do the okey doke. They put no, I was just kidding, and they throw it.
You guys can do the same thing with Wisconsin and Iowa and Northwestern, but nobody picked anybody from those schools.
Well, we might be able to take. We might.
Caleb Tiernan tomorrow.
Could be Tiernan coming at 57, buddy. We might have a wildcat. So get your purple
wait
underwear on.
Till Mason Rieger has 8 sacks for the Bears as a rookie.
I mean, Kadyn Proctor passed on Iowa twice.
He literally went to Iowa City and was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm going back to Alabama."
He saw Carm there. He saw Carm was one of the alums.
Hey, listen, shout out to Proctor. He got in the Iowa locker room. It wasn't for him. That's fine. No problem.
Is this a cookie or a hockey puck?
I don't know.
Okay, let's find out, because Barb always brings us treats.
Barb, what is this?
I believe it's an Oreo.
Barb Graham. Jeez, she's not even listening. Just over there yapping.
I'm either eating chalk or...
What is this?
Blue chalk or...
What is this?
Oreo cookie.
Ask Mom.
It's an
Mom,
Oreo.
what is this?
It's an Oreo.
Did you put drugs in here?
Really good. Really good. Excellent.
Thank you.
That's my favorite part of the draft. Latrice Barber.
Take that, Patrick Norton.
Yeah. Your stupid butterscotch cookies.
Yeah. We got our own cookies.
I bet you Deion Miller laughed at those. They're probably really good.
These are better than Patrick Norton.
What a day. What a day.
Did you say the cookies are better than Patrick Norton?
I did.
Yeah.
More delicious than Patrick Norton.
Don't. Okay.
Oh, I am just so happy to be a Bears fan.
Yeah.
Everybody be happy for Graham.
Let's go Bears.
Hey, are these our winners this year for the beer stacking?
Oh, yeah. Let's go. We got to get a picture of this. These guys. Ortega.
I don't think that was his name.
That is his
Gustavo?
name.
Hey.
That is.
Hey, how many beers is that?
Gonzalo Ortega with how many beers over there?
Enough that they can't count. He said 5. There's 25 cans.
Gonzalo is at 5.
Shout out to...
What's the stack?
Yeah, we remember.
What's the number now?
25 and counting.
Yeah, but they're bigger beers than their lagers,
25
right?
and counting. All right.
Hey, shout out to everybody here at Joe's on Weed Street.
You guys are awesome.
You guys are amazing every single year. Shout out to all the hard workers of Joe's on Weed Street. We got our sound guy back there that's been killing it for us the entire day. Shout out to every single one of you guys. You guys are such great hosts. Obviously, we're going to be here tomorrow so we can continue to sing the praises of the amazing crew here at Joe's on Weed Street. But make sure you're tipping the bartenders and giving big hugs out to these guys because they are just a fantastic host. And obviously, to be on this stage where so many legends of the music industry have performed.
Like your friends from 2 years ago?
Dalton and the Sheriffs.
Dalton and the Sheriffs.
And then Carm.
Yeah.
Sidekick Carm.
I'm a little more partial to Old Dominion, but always a pleasure and an honor to stand on this stage here at Joe's on Weed Street. We'll be here tomorrow, so make sure you guys come out.
All right, I got a million thank yous. First of all, thank you to the Bears for drafting a really good safety and Dillon Thieneman. Shout out to the Chicago Bears. Shout out to all you Bears fans here. You guys are awesome. You keep supporting us. Hit the like button and subscribe. And again, if you have it in your heart, do we have updated donations? I want to share those real quick. I know a bunch of donations came in for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Chicago. $50 from Brawlsack.
Brawlsack.
$20 from $20 anonymous donation came in, and then our guy Dominic Franchillo, $20. Also popping in there. So thank you to all the donations going to Big Brothers and Big Sisters tonight, and we also need to thank IDOT for sponsoring us and helping us be here for the draft party. Fanatics, Bona Beef. Again, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Chicago. We love them.
I'm going to have a Bona Beef right by my bedside tonight.
Celebrate with a Bona Beef tonight.
And then you know what I want you to do after that? I want you to go visit Game Day Men's Health. For the love of God.
You need to
please.
go see our friends at Game Day.
I'm begging you to go to Game Day Men's Health. And we thank Game Day Men's Health for being back here with the Jim McMahon jersey tonight. That was awesome. Shout out to our producer staff. So many hard people behind the scenes here working. Steven, Sarah, our GM Jake's here. I think there's even more. Big Dave is here. Shout out to CHGO. Big Dave.
Pankow, Lori.
Our sales team is all here. Joey Christopoulos was over here checking out. Emma is rocking social media. And we got a lot more at coverage at allchgo.com because Jahns and Pat Norton have been out there. I know the scout, Breck Ackley was the scout assigned to Dillon Thieneman. He talked already Ryan Poles talks before the night is over. We'll have you covered in the morning on Hogan Johns with all that stuff. Hogan Johns will be live at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll get all the reaction from Hallis Hall, all those details on Dillon Thieneman. And then I want you all to be right back here tomorrow night. No excuses.
You're coming back tomorrow.
And if you're watching...
No, you're not. He's coming back tomorrow. All right.
There we go. And if you're watching on YouTube in your Chicagoland area, come out. Tomorrow night we're going to be over in the bar area. I like that side.
A little more intimate.
It's a little bit more intimate. We got a lot of picks.
We are going to lock the doors, and everyone is staying here until tomorrow.
Can I go home? I got a lot of work to do.
Everyone is staying here till tomorrow.
Okay. Well, Johns is going to have to do...
He'll be all right. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
All
right.
He'll dial up Chris Emma.
Come back tomorrow.
My guy.
Get fish face in there.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, boys?
No, I think it just, listen, the Bears stayed patient tonight, and most people didn't think Thieneman would be there. He ended up being there.
You let the board fall to you, man.
Let the board fall to you. There was a lot of interesting options there, but, sometimes he may indeed turn out to be a home run, but I think it's at bare minimum, the Bears took a sure thing. Solid double is the worst way you could spin tonight if you're trying to look at it with a critical eye. But first-class guy coming to Chicago, position in need, there's a lot to like.
I continue to say it. I mean, luck, you have to find luck. Luck isn't going to find you. And you have to put yourself in position to be lucky.
Bragstradamus.
And bad teams find bad luck. Good teams find good luck. And the Bears have finally turned the corner over the last few years. And it did take a little luck. And now it seems like every single time, whether it's on the field during the season, game-winning comebacks, or in the draft the last couple years, and watching the way things fall to you, Luther Burden in the second round, or now here you get a gem in Colston Loveland, and now here you get a safety in Dillon Thieneman, who most thought would not be there at 25. Things continue to work in the Bears' favor because they are finding luck, because they are finally one of the good luck teams, because they are actually a good team in the NFL.
I would love to have been in the draft room when Minnesota was picking and just seen the reaction. Maybe they'll show it in one of the behind-the-scenes videos the Bears put out. I would just love to know what was happening in that moment. And with the Lions pick, too, taking Blake Miller. Just those both could have been situations that Thieneman went to, but especially the Vikings. And then for them to take Caleb Banks, I don't know this, but if the Bears medicals were like completely out on Banks, because I'm sure he was off some teams' draft boards completely. And the Vikings took him there at 18, right? So because that was kind of the moment. That was the moment that Thieneman fell when the Vikings passed on him.
Could he have been talked out of trading up to the Jets? Similar to when Rome was falling, and he had to be talked out of because he wanted him so bad. He wanted to trade him. They're like, just wait, let it fall to you.
Yep, 100%. Guys, it's been a lot of fun tonight. Also, thank you to Lance Briggs, Corey Wooten, and Jerry Azuma.
Great job by Dave Carmen, my brother, Jackie Burnfield, my partner.
They're not even listening to you.
But they were amazing. They were incredible. Scott Steven, the
Dave
king.
Hasn't done anything. What are you thinking him?
He thought he called you. He asked if Greg Braggs was a professional athlete earlier today because of how physical he was with him after the Bears beat the Packers. That was frightening.
It's insane. All right.
Don't hurt me.
Greg's going to clap all the way home.
Greg's not leaving, actually.
He's so happy. All right. Hey, good night, everybody. We're going to see you tomorrow. 6 o'clock is when the show starts again. Hogan Johns at 10 o'clock. But we got a lot of picks to go over tomorrow night. Day 2. We'll see you then.
Go Bears. Let's go Bears. Let's go Bears.
We all silly like the mayor.